Welcome, everybody, to the first ever upper elementary division, grades 4 through 6 Hackathon Code Conquest 2021. Welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I know everyone's excited to get started, and I want to introduce some people, make sure everybody understands kind of how this is going to flow. The timer is on the map. We're going to introduce all the teams, and I can adjust the timer if we need to run over, since we obviously have many of you to introduce, and then we're going to send you into your breakout rooms so that you can collaborate together on your projects in isolation as a team, and we'll see who comes out the winner at the end of this event. As you saw on the wall, probably, I made mention that today we're going to be failing forward a lot. That's kind of the whole purpose of programming, right? That's how we learn how to program. That's how we compete in a hackathon. And so, a good idea to get yourself ready, get yourself mentally prepared. We are creative computing, applied computer science in this event. And obviously, as we submit our projects for judge review, some will win, some will lose. We just got to keep failing forward and keep pursuing our victory. All right, so I'd like to first start off by thanking all the coaches who have made this possible, organized the teams, spent a lot of time, effort to do this. And we're very appreciative. I know that in all of our divisions, upper elementary, middle, and high school hackathons, the effort of our coaches really pays off. And a hackathon is really, in some ways, it's an assessment of what we're learning. We go through our learning pathways and our challenges to build micro skills, and then here we are. Can we assemble them into projects that have a way of demonstrating what we've learned? I am also joined by the Dom King here today, who will be co-host and MC of the event with us. So thank you, Dom King, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here, and thank you, Devin.
Yes, we love having you, and so this is going to be an exciting day for us to watch this competition unfold. I have my entire dev team here with Mentor Melora, Mentor Sunny, who many will know and be familiar with in our challenge feedback loops you receive, Mentor Doug, Mentor Trish, Mentor Mike, Mentor Sabrina, Mentor Bo, and Mentor Jenks, who are somewhere in this view. As we scroll down, I think we've got about 124 people logged in right now. And I also have some judges who are here who have been judging each of these hackathons, and I want to give them a special call out. Mentor Gurpreet, Mentor Sean, Mentor Tommy, Mentor Kenny, and Mentor Zen will be serving as judges. And I just want to pay a quick, most of our judges are seniors who have been studying computer science at the university, Stony Brook University. And they've been with us for a while, and they participate as mentors, checking challenges for students. And special call out to Mentor Sean, who is graduating and has been a top mentor with us. In his time as a kidOYO mentor, he's checked over 66,000 challenges that students have submitted. And those range from Scratch all the way to C++. And in many cases, some of those challenges were designed by Mentor Sean. He's made a tremendous impact on Long Island and really for students all over the world who use kidOYO to learn how to creative compute and about CS. And so as he charts off, graduates from the university, goes off into his own professional career working with Lockheed Martin, as well as Mentor Gurpreet, who's been with us as well and has done a tremendous amount of work and is also going to Lockheed Martin. We just want to thank them publicly, and just a quick call out to everybody as a sign of appreciation for the work that they do. So thank you, Mentor Sean, for being here today and for everything you've done.
Thank you, Mentor Sean.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Dom King to introduce the teams that we have, and we're going to start sending you over into your breakout rooms as we do so. Dom King, it's all yours.
Well, I thank you, Devin, and it's great to be here today, and congratulations to everyone who's here. We got an exciting day. The hack is back, so let us kick it off right now. Our first team was Hatch from Hatch, and they were born clutching Python in their talons. They're animated with Sprite. They are the Hop Hog Coding Eagles, led by Coding Dude 45, Mac and Cheese, the Jolly Green Eagle, Happy Hop Hog, Pikachu is a football, Hello Conquest, Neo Dude 64, and half of Dora, Hop Hog, with their coaches, Coach Ferrora and Mrs. Chompson, your Hop Hog coding Eagles. Coming up next, the Monkey Coders in the Clouds, led by Harbor the Dog. It's not an actual dog. Jaden J, Jack of all trades, Panda Coder, Computer Cat, Hula Hoop Princess, led by their coaches, Crazy for Books and Late to the Game. Next, from Locust Valley, the Bayville Brainiacs, led by their captain, A Secret, with the Coding Master, with the Coding Queen, with Sad Ad 6, with Tom, with Punky the Dog. Once again, might not be a real dog. With the Mine, this is the one that threw me this morning, but it is the Minecraft Gamer, the WandaVision Guinea Pig Lover, and led by the coaches of the Bayville Intermediate School, your Bayville Brainiacs.
Woohoo!
The Manhaxit Spuds,
Oh, Manhaxit.
led by their captain, me_for_president. So we did have our first political campaign of the day. We're excited for that. We have Diva Map, the Star Wars nerd, Python, the Gaming King, Techie, Frog Girl, and Bra, with Miss Marilosi as their coach and Coach Costello, your Manhaxit Spuds. The Manhaxit Fury, led by their captain, the Little Code God, with the Queen of Hearts. I am Sven, Pumpkin Pie, Bell and the Melon, Leslie, Sushi Cat, once again, not an actual cat, and Sophia the First, led by, again, their coaches, Coach Costello and Coach Marilesi, sorry. The Mineola Megabytes, they take no prisoners, led by the Pasta Masta, with Kitty Pride, the Electro Boy, Goose Queen, Monkey Robot 13, the Ninja 58, with Z-Man, Artemis 626, and JD Ninetails. And your coaches, Clifford the Demogoran, and Gargoyle Goldfarb, your Mineola Megabytes. The Willits Whiz Kids. They are the Willits Whiz Kids, and they're here to win. Led by their captain, Oki, with Burn, with Coco Loco 123, with Uncle Roger Likes the Fried Rice, with Oob and Doc Productions, with Artist Mania, with Fire on the Wall, with Ma 8971, with their coaches, Mr. Raz, and Got to Code. The Willits Whiz Kids. The Bayless Bengals, led by their captain, Zucker, with Lightning Lee, Skittles 5, Nobody, and you are truly somebody, Anonymous, with Coding Queen 24, with Real King Evie, with New Bling 135, led by their coaches, Mrs. S. The Berry Hill Beasts, no team description needed, led by the Best Dot Kid, with D God, with AI Kid, with Weird Last Name, with Big Boy, with Person, with The Great, and with JP, led by Coach Jerabek and Coach Sheridan, your Berry Hill Beasts. The Error Glitches, 404 Not Found, Go RL, Error Glitches, Robin Lane School from Syosset, led by their captain, Clash Studios, with Fifth Studios, with Xcode X, with Suhani Reddy, with Amagus, with XR 500, with the Avocado Mike, and Q Kitty, led by their coaches, Fighting Miss Sullivan and Miss Veroline. Your Error Glitches. The South Grove Tigers. They show K-Pride and good sportsmanship and they're honored to have the chance to take part in this special competition and excited to put all the years of coding to the test, led by their captain, Daniel Chen. With Storms, with QWERTY, with Snow Leopard Girl, with Forever Star, with Tilted Stabbers, with Yeet Man 123, and with Mayo 64, led by their coaches, Tiger Tech and Casper, your South Grove Tigers. The SIO Village Variables, with their captain, Believe BJ23, with Louis Vuitton, who might be the best dressed guy in the room today, next to me, with JMO Fuchs, with Unknown, with The Animator, with CG Cool Bro 23, with CRJ7, and with Dario. And their coaches, led by their coaches, T. Sergi, and again, Mrs. Merlesi. The Walt Whitman Wolverines, led by Donkey Kong, Coder Girl 21, The Cool Coder, The Coding Wolverine 2, B Jakes 22, A Jakes 16, Crazy Coder 29, Soccer 520, led by Mrs. Falk and Mrs. Schaefer. Your Walt Whitman Wolverines. The SIO Coding Wizards, led by their captain, the Coding Wizard, with the Waffle Monster, with the Unkept Wizard, with Harris, with the Coding Turtle, with Smart Ape, and with Bill and Woody, led by the SIO Wizard, Coach Fokianos. And lastly, the WH Code Breakers, led by their captain, the greatest coder, with Xyloten, with the #1 random coder, with Pearl Girl 29, with I'm a Great Hacker, with Cool Coder 11, the Master Pythoner and Star Coder, led by their coach, the venerable Coach Pirlo. These are your contestants for the 2021 Hackathon.
All right, excellent, great job. Thanks, Dom King, and thanks to all the teams. Everybody, now you will be sent out to your breakout rooms. Again, pay attention to the main screen. The timer is counting down, and when the timer hits 0, go, attack, attack.
Actually, a little edit. I stopped the timer since we were going to run a little bit over. So I'm going to manually count down from 5 when it's ready to go. We're going to split you out to your breakout rooms, and I will manually launch the event rather than the timer getting 0. Okay, so no need to feel too rushed. We got time to break out and get set for this.
Okay, and just if you do get disconnected, don't panic, come back on. Everything will be still here and running, and you will be admitted back in and sent to your breakout room. Also, if you do need help, Mentor Trish is here to help answer questions or help if you do need to find your way back to your breakout rooms. Coaches, if you can just keep an eye on the live stream and also just on your Zoom feed to see if you are summoned back into the main room. We're going to try to make it around to a couple teams today to do some interviews. So everybody, good luck, and may the best team win.
There may be a couple of students in the wrong Syosset room for the Walt Whitman Wolverines and then the Willits Whiz kids, but we'll fix those.
All right. See you soon, everybody. Happy coding. We will be announcing all of those best banner, best avatar, and best CDP at about halfway through the event. So stay tuned to that too. You'll hear it on the live stream. We won't be calling any teams back in for that, but it will be announced on the live stream. And boy, were those hard to judge. It was incredible. I'm really excited. This is our upper L division hackathon, which means we have 4th graders through 6th graders. And so that means in the room, we have students anywhere from the age of 9 through 12. Probably most of them are going to be in that 10, 11 age range. And I think oftentimes when people hear that age range, the expectation for capability goes down. But let me tell you something, this is going to be a fierce competition, maybe more fierce than the other two divisions that we saw come in earlier this season. Just as a reminder too, as everybody's going out there and getting settled, this competition is open to all of the districts here on Long Island. Even if you are not actively part of the Yo-Yo class platform at the moment, reach out. We'd love to have more involvement. It's a great event. It really pushes the skills forward, and we're here to really kind of celebrate that today and see all of the hard work from the teams, the coaches. It's really it's a fantastic display of how far we've all come together.
Okay, so Trish will let me know when everyone's in breakout rooms. Everybody can use this time as we're getting organized to get yourself set up at your computers, take some deep breaths, maybe get your coach strategy laid out. And as a reminder, keep in mind that these initial attacks, all territories are vacant. So as long as your initial projects qualify and satisfy all the requirements of the challenges in the territories, they will win. The first conquest will win those territories, and then all subsequent battles will be between teams. So now's a good time to kind of think through how you're going to attack the map. Make sure you're on the same page as a team, and we're almost ready to begin.
Sorry, hold on one second. Crazy Coder, what team are you on? Crazy Coder?
Crazy Coder has replied
Like
it's
Walt Whitman,
WW.
maybe
Walt
it's like
Whitman.
WW.
But there's Willits Whiz Kids also. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
No, they're Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman.
Wolverine.
Walt Whitman.
Crazy
Okay.
Kid is a Walt Whitman Wolverine. There you go. Walt Whitman Wolverine.
Perfect. And then we have Mrs. Schaefer. If you could just respond to what team you're on, since it's not after your name on the Zoom, Mrs. Schaefer. Sheffer.
Roy,
And
what
obviously
team are you
have-
on?
We have students that are coming in from
I believe
school
she's a
as well.
Wolverine also, Mrs. Schaefer.
Okay. Place her with
Wolverines.
We got one person in the waiting room. Looks like one person lost connection is back in.
there we go. Looks like we got Miss Schaefer. Yep, Roy Choi.
I still
Got
don't know.
Choi.
who that
Yeah,
is.
Choi's got to get back in.
Choi, please also put your team name after your Zoom name. And we also have Tilted Stabbers. Tilted Stabbers is not in a breakout room yet.
Yeah, I don't know what team I have to. Boy.
In past seasons, we've always been together in our hackathons, all in the same room. This year, everything's 100% virtual. So we've got people coming in from their classrooms, from home. So if you lose Wi-Fi or if you lose connection, just come back in. Don't panic. We'll help you get where you need to be. The event's going to be 3 hours long, so we've got plenty of time.
Tilted Stabbers is on South Grove Tigers.
We got one more in the waiting room.
Yep, also a tiger.
Okay, I'd say we're within a minute of starting.
Yep,
All right, that should be everyone.
I think so.
Okay.
Nope. And then
Okay, so we're going to constantly have people most likely losing connection throughout the day. It's just kind of the way it goes sometimes, right? So I'm going to start this competition in about 30 seconds. You'll see right now I restarted the countdown timer. It says 11 minutes on my view. It's about 11 minutes and 26 seconds. Let me see if I can update my screen if that's changed. 11 minutes and 20 seconds. So in about 20 seconds, I'm going to launch this game. And at that point, everyone will be free to start conquering territories. The capital defense phase, capital attack phase will take place in the final 30 minutes of the competition. 5,
Barry.
4, 3, 2, 1. And the game is launched. Everyone
And
can
they're
refresh
off.
their screens if you need to. The game is launched. The competition has begun. Teams can now begin to look at the territory challenge descriptions, and start to sort out a strategy of where they believe they have the best shot of advancing onto Monster Island. Good luck to all.
Yep, good luck to everybody. And Mentor Trish, if you're there, we have one student present who needs to go to Berry Hill team. Let's just finish that up if we can get everybody to where they're supposed to be. I think I can get them.
Okay, for everybody who is watching this live stream, we have 15 teams from upper elementary schools and their coaches. Roughly, let's say, what is there, about 150 participants in here, that everyone is 100% virtual. We have challenges on this map that all relate to programming and design challenges in multiple languages. So as students have been learning in schools, advancing inside their coding curriculum, they may have seen computer science and applied computer science presented in multiple formats using multiple languages. If you're familiar with kidOYO and OYO class platform, you know, OYO is own your own. So everything is really kind of a self-paced methodology, as well as learning together as a class and under your teacher's guidance. And we try to empower that process with kidOYO mentors who serve as knowledge repositories and give feedback to the challenge work that students do, as well as that teachers are free to do as well. And they earn badges to document those skills, and we embed the evidence of their skills directly in the badges. When they are doing this work, typically the learning is split into micro challenges, and so you'll start to see students scaffolding skills one on top of the next as they advance through their learning pathways and through the various programming languages that they are engaging. And so a hackathon, which is kind of, there's different types of hackathons. Some last for multiple days and competitors get no sleep. Our innovation is breaking a hackathon down into a 3-hour time segment so that we don't have to bring sleeping bags and camp out all weekend. But regardless, the point is that now we're working on projects. So as we build our skills, now we want to assess what have we learned and how can we put them together. The map that you see in front of you is Monster Island. All the teams are occupying their flying machines off the coast, and every single territory on the map has a different challenge assigned to it. There are requirements inside of these challenges that the judges use to evaluate the project submissions that come in from competitors, and teams can collaborate on those projects. They can split the work up and have individuals build the projects and split up where they're going on the map. It's all really a strategy-based decision in that regard. And if you've ever played the board game Risk, which served as something of an inspiration for us in this regard, you'll know that instead of rolling dice to conquer the map with your pieces, here it's all project-based attacks. So after the initial attack phase begins and territories are claimed by the initial teams, every subsequent attack is between one team and another, and they're submitting projects to try to best the project that's currently holding the territory. And so we're going to see a lot of communication taking place between captains and their teammates, and strategy choices about how to advance this map. There is about, I think, 20 territories they can come onto the map through, and then they can start to move on the map by advancing from one neighboring territory to the next. The claw territories at the tip of Monster Island are going to be the most difficult to get to and probably the most difficult to hold. And so they are each worth 2 points, where the rest of the territories are worth 1. We're going to see, as territories start coming in, some numbers will appear over the territories, and that'll show how many attacks are pending judge review. And the judges will then see the projects. They can see the source code of all submissions, look into the work that the students are doing or the hackers are doing, and start to render their judgments. And for all the teams, this is kind of like watching gymnastics in the Olympics. Judges are making subjective decisions. So, when it comes time to evaluate the way that one team writes their functions versus how another team might do it, we are making subjective decisions about what looks like they brought the best design skills, or how they approached the efficiency of their code, how clean the design of their projects worked. And you can see we have our first attack on the map. Looks like it's up there in the near the middle claw, middle knuckle. And so we are active and teams are now making their initial attack. Very excited.
Yeah, I'd say right now is an exciting time in the room. Every team here has a captain, and the captains are going to help guide everybody else on the team to what is the best attack. Oh, and we have our first one on the map. So Hop Hog, Screaming Eagles have screamed onto the map and colored the first part of the map light blue. So there's a lot of strategies that can be at play here, but right now in those war rooms, the captains are scouring the map and determining the best path forward. You
And
can
Mentor
only
Doug.
attack the territory that borders your territory. So it is a strategy to move onto the map.
Mentor Doug is driving our view. Mentor Doug, could you just zoom in since this is the first territory attack? Let's click on that territory just to give our viewers a chance to get a sense of what we are looking at. Okay, so as we click in, you're going to see this is our territory, which they all have funny names here on Monster Island. This is a sprite editor challenge, which sprite is a word we use in game development for the assets that we build, that we're going to write some programs for. Maybe it's our main player, maybe it's an enemy character, something of that sort. All right, so here in this question, what the challenge is, what's under the bed? Using sprite editor, create an animation of a monster under a bed. Must have at least 3 frames and be your own original artwork. Best animation wins. The perennial what's under your bed monster. I'm sure the Dom King is going to have some nightmares tonight.
Well, no more than I usually do, Dev. But yeah, it's I had a feeling that Hop Hog was going to try to jump out fast, and obviously they did. Got a quick monster under their bed.
Now,
this is exciting. Listen, I'm not a coach here, but I would love to be. I would want to get on the board first, and I think Hop Hog did a great job. Getting out quick here.
Agreed. A quick start is always a good thing. Sets the pace for the rest of the teams. We got another attack. I was going to have you, Doug, click on that project just to kind of show off what our first project is. You're going to notice as teams start to advance on the map, every team will take a different strategy. Some teams might come in with a really high level project. Others might come in with just a basic starter project that satisfies the criteria, trying to bait the other teams in. In this case, looks like we have a bed and we have a black monster with red eyes that gently appears underneath of it. This looks like they're taking the strategy of let's just get something that achieves the criteria but not show our full skills yet. So they're on the map with a minimal project, and other teams can now evaluate this project, and their submissions will try to best what the Hop Hog team has put forth as their first attack and see how it proceeds from there. Thanks, Doug. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is how many projects. Oh, we have our second territory that has gone into the hands of the Mineola Megabytes. Oh, they've claimed 2 territories.
Wow, right off the bat.
Big move. It was that Haka. I'm telling you, it was the Mustang Haka to get started. They jumped out and just took the leaderboard. I was literally trying to put a tweet together about Hop Hog getting on the board, and then Mineola jumps them. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Use the hashtag code Conquest 2021 and hashtag HackLI.
Hop Hog and Mineola had a little skirmish earlier, which is a new thing that you can now do with Code Conquest. If you're an OYO Pro account, meaning that you have an OYO Pro passport, which many of our teachers now here on Long Island have this, it gives them access to an advanced set of professional development, which will be running all summer. But one of the things that you can certainly do with that is book skirmishes, team versus team practice. So this fall, I imagine we'll have skill dash and skirmishes happening nonstop. And yeah, look at this strong showing right out of the gates by Mineola Megabytes. Looks like they might be a little bit experienced here.
Yeah, and so for everybody who's watching, you're going to see we have what we call a combat log that is going down the right-hand side of the screen where the map shows. And you'll see right now, everything will have a sword symbol in the middle. You'll see the teams, and you see the word vacant. So these are all vacant territories. So the initial attacks, teams are launching their attacks on a vacant territory. And as long as they meet the criteria of the challenge, they're going to successfully claim those territories. All subsequent attacks will be team versus team, and in order to win, you have to produce a higher quality result than the current team that's holding that territory. If the attacker wins, we will continue to see this sword icon show up. That's the meaning that the attacker has launched an attack and been victorious. If the defender wins, you'll see a shield icon that shows up, meaning that they have defended their territory against attack. And so the symbols will give you a cue of what's going on, as well as it says winner above the team's avatar. And so you can see we've got a ton of cool avatars this time down the side for all the teams.
All righty. Well, so we have one of our special guests just joined us in our Zoom call. We have Anthony Davidson from Locust Valley, who is the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction there. Welcome to the Code Conquest.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So you're a rookie here this year.
We are. First year with the platform, we're the prohibitive underdog, but we have two great teams that are going at it, and the excitement is palpable in the war room over here with the Bayville Brainiacs. We'll be checking out the monkey coders in the clouds a little bit later in this challenge.
Nice.
Yes, I have been heavily managed by the teams as they were going through some of their qualifying rounds. I could see that they were putting the pressure on our mentors to make sure that they had their skills set coming into this. I noticed that you have a very, very strong showing as a girl team. You have you have one team that's almost all girls, and I don't think we've seen that before.
All female but one. We have one male representative over here in Bayville. So yes, we were excited to see that. Seeing more girls in coding, it's definitely something we want to encourage.
Yeah, that's excellent. I think pretty much every place I've been, the goal has been stated to try to do that. So it's really exciting to see that you guys have such a strong showing. This is your first year of OYO class, and I want to say one of the things that's unique is that your teachers came in and trained for the very first virtual only summer training experience, and you launched out in the middle of the pandemic. How has that impacted things in your mind?
Well, I think, part of it is forced us to use the technology, and it's honestly in its native state, right? We're forced to be online, and the platform sort of meshed in there. When we looked at using kidOYO, it was in the midst of the pandemic, and we looked at it as a possibility if we were to be fully remote as a tool that really could engage students and really be exciting and have them work that way. So there was a lot of apprehension, but I think being forced to use the platform in its natural environment actually has been advantageous in a lot of regards. We still miss the human contact, but it sort of, I think, forced us to maybe do a little bit more than we were ready to do. And I think again, will be the better for it. Our mentors, our librarians have been phenomenal with supporting it. We have some teachers who are piloting it. So it has been far more successful than we could have ever imagined, particularly given the pandemic.
Mr. Davidson, Matt Pomara, the Cisco Cyclone, quick question for you. As far as your first year is concerned, so again, in its native form, what are some of the things you're most proud of that the teams have accomplished?
Well, I think, their enthusiasm for it. First of all, we had some staff members who had never experimented with coding before. Some of them had never worked really with coding at all. The way that they jumped aboard, moved through all apprehension and learned as much as they could, and the depth of their knowledge in year one. And then you can see the excitement as it turns into the classroom, their understanding, their ability to accept that they don't know everything and that this is the type of environment where that's okay. And in turn, watching the students respond. I mean, the excitement, the amount of students that are getting access to the platform and that are coding and using this language is beyond our wildest beliefs.
What would a win today as a rookie mean to your team?
I think it would scare the whole island. The reality is that, being that it's in year one, our kids have done a phenomenal job. We also recognize that some of the students involved here have been doing this since kindergarten. But I think if it would establish us as a force to be reckoned with. But the number one thing we've told the students is really we're hoping that they learn here and that they have a great experience. And that's the win in and of itself.
That's beautiful.
Great message. Great message.
You bring up a good point, though. Some of these kids have been coding since kindergarten and maybe even earlier. So it's interesting to see here. They could be 6 years into programming and have some really overwhelming skills, I think, for some people to understand what's going on. So it's a cool experience. The teams are going to get so much out of this, just that it has nothing to do with programming. So
So
I'm
this is
sure
our
you'll
third.
see that live.
This is the third hackathon that we've done together that I've been part of, for this year. This is, I think, the most ferocious start I think I've ever seen to the prior two hackathons. Pretty impressive. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Mineola's trying to jump out to an early lead. Mr. Davidson, tell us about your captain and how important they are to your team.
So you mean our teachers or the captains of the teams?
No, the captains themselves. We know we know how important the coaches are. And like I said, the commitment that coaches have made is just, we're so impressed. Tell us a little bit about the captains and what you think.
We're looking at two young people who are steering the ship, and I think it's part of it is they're forced to, a lot of this is strategy as well. And being the first time out of the gate, I saw this in the middle school competition. We're not as familiar with strategy, and our captains are fostering the collaboration, bringing people together, helping them sift through some obstacles. So to watch young people, particularly in the upper elementary, having that kind of impact, it's special.
I agree. And I think that the pressure, the learning to deal with that pressure right on the spot and work in a team and manage a team is one of the things that we've heard continually from companies who are hiring. So to give them this experience so early on and get that ingrained into them where they become comfortable talking, taking leadership. And again, I'll just echo it one more time, since you have so many girls on the team, giving them that experience early on is going to transition throughout the rest of their experience in a very powerful way. So it's really exciting to see that you've managed to bring all these kids together and get them excited to be the rookies, to be brave and be the rookies in the room.
And I do have to credit, the teachers who've led this initiative. I also think one of the most important things when you talk about a life skill is coding. You probably fail more than you are successful. And it isn't really, understanding that failure is not permanent, that it really should galvanize and really, you got to push through. And we see the students aren't afraid of this type of failure, right? They keep going at it. And that persistence is something that they can carry them very far.
Great. That is a great point. I know we always encounter that with the first time that we have this interaction with students and they see the pass fail and there's really no in between. We're teaching them a different type of thought process. And it goes with the growth mindset theories out there, which we align to very closely. So it's exciting to see, but I will say that I have not seen any apprehension from your kids to keep coming back over and over and over again and demanding, attention. The thing that I like is that you see them, your wall in your community came out strong, like a lot of talking, a lot of collaborating. As soon as they realized that they had this forum, they really took it and ran with it. And it's impressive to see how quickly they all adapted because you didn't have that physical training ahead of time. The librarians that you have and the teachers in the classroom, phenomenal job. I'm super impressed with what you have going on over there.
Thank you. And again, I can't credit the adults who have been involved, particularly the two today, Ms. Coppola and Ms. Joyce, for rallying the troops and inspiring them. It's been
Absolutely.
a great collaboration. So
It's a full-time commitment.
About potential. I mean, year one alone, what's year two going to look like? And for students to have that exposure and to have the platform, we're really excited about what's to come.
They're off to a really good start. So they look great right now. Do you have any students that are actually remote today that are competing?
I don't believe so. I know on the Bayville side where I am stationed right now until I get over to the Locust Valley side, we do not. But I'm not sure if on Locust Valley side if we do.
Do you feel that's an advantage?
I don't know if it's an advantage. I think one of the beautiful aspects of it is it's not an obstacle, for the students to be able to be remote as well, to be able to be involved and engage. I think that's a great opportunity for them.
Awesome. Well, Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We're going to check back into the map here. As you can see, in this short amount of time, a massive amount of attacks have been launched. During the middle school, we had over 600 challenge submissions, and I think we're going to be floored by what happens here. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank
We're
you, Mr.
super excited to
Davidson.
have
Appreciate
Locust
it.
Valley here, and great things to come from you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Yes,
having me,
thank
and
you,
good luck,
Mr.
everyone.
Davidson.
Take care.
Thank you.
So many good messages in there. This is really an exciting competition, and you know, we've seen how these young minds are just ferocious. You know, I like to say imagination plus knowledge multiplied by skills is what we see in this event. But wow, look at what we got going on. I know our team has already evaluated some of the capital defense projects, and we were blown away. These judges are really got it cut out for them today, just to try to discern the agility that the kids are bringing to their project development work. And as you see on the map, we have a tremendous amount of pending attacks going on. The map is changing color very actively.
Yeah, we see 5 straight defenses, right? 5 straight successful defenses. By the way, that was great of Mr. Davidson to jump on. His support is, you know, having support from upper administration for these type of programs is phenomenal. You could see it. The work kind of speaks for itself. So great stuff from the Locust Valley, the Falcons and the Bayville Brainiacs. Really excited at what we're seeing here. It's funny, again, this is my 3rd hackathon. I cannot believe the furious pace, and that this is we'll see how this is kept up for the next. We have a long way to go. So
yeah, I know it's funny because one of the coaches that asked me, I can't remember who it was, asked if there was a break through this. Maybe it was one of the Locust Valley teams because they were new. And I said, you can try to have a break, but good luck getting those kids to step away from the keyboard, because this is a ferocious competition. And you're right. I would say with the other competitions, we saw a little bit slower start and maybe more planning, more strategy, maybe even a little bit more apprehension, but these kids are just going for it. It is going to be fierce all day long.
Yeah, and let me put in a little dev strategy so that if the teams are listening, they can take this in. As when you see a lot of defense shields, that means that the teams are probably trying to iterate in an MVP way, minimum viable project kind of a way on top of the previous submission. And so what we might see happen here is a change of strategy to spend a little more time, a little bit more patience, building your project, raising the bar on the competition, and really putting some effort into your project qualities. Now we're going to start seeing some attack successes coming in with Mineola and Manhasset Fury, it looks like, having achieved some success on the map as well.
It also looks like we've got South Coast Tigers just taking back a territory from the Hop Hog Golden Eagle, or Code Eagles.
We also saw the Code Breakers get on the board. The Code Breakers now currently sitting tied for 3rd place with a logjam at 3rd place right now. But the Code Breakers are definitely on the board. They look like they're on the move as well. Again, long day here.
Yeah,
long way to go, but it's great to see. You know, you like seeing that some of the other schools jump out and get out to a good start. As Dev said, there's some strategy behind that. So exciting. You know, my original plan was I was going to try to change wardrobe per change, but I'd be out of shirts already. So I'm gonna have to stick with my original plan.
I think so. That's probably a good idea. And yeah, like you said, you know, and for the teams out there that this is their first time competing, which a lot of these kids, this is going to be their first time. This map is going to change a zillion times. Just because you see some teams where they're sitting now, it doesn't mean that's where they're going to be sitting in 20 minutes from now or an hour from now. This is a long event and a lot of project work is coming. So strategy is going to come into play. Looks like we see SIO Coding Wizards moving up there. Now we've got a big tie at 2nd place. We've got Hop Hog, Manhasset, and Syosset all tying there, while Megabytes from Mineola sit a little bit ahead there with their 2 points. It looks like it's going to be an epic battle. And we just see another takeover down there. And we're seeing the attackers coming on strong. We saw that defensive run for a while. And now what you're starting to see is they're evaluating the projects, coming back and seeing, how can I submit something that would have either more impressive algorithm in it, deeper design work, really getting into the pixel art that these kids are producing is just top notch. I mean, some of the things we saw coming in, you can see even a lot of the pixel arts being displayed next to the team names on the left-hand side of the screen that you're seeing now. And each team had the challenge of making a team banner, which are floating across the top left of our stream now. Team banners are going to be, they were voted on and there is a winner, and we're going to be announcing those soon. But the avatar that's displaying alongside their team name is also something that they designed for a halftime type competition as well. So we'll be announcing those. But a lot of these are made in the sprite editor tool as pixel art, and these kids just keep getting better and better and better. And so what we're going to see, you know, think about some of these kids being 10 years old right now. They've got 8 more years left of school. By the time they're ready to emerge into the workforce, imagine what the potential for them is in that workforce. And it's really exciting to see how big Long Island is becoming as having a footprint in that.
Well, you just saw Berry Hill knock off Mineola. So that's you know, a big move right there. So now more than 3/4 are the teams are on the board. So everybody's really on the move here. Again, just a frantic pace to get this thing started. Mineola still holding a slim lead, followed up by the Hop Hog Coding Eagles, tied up with the SIO Coding Wizards. So we've got a lot of stuff moving here. There's another big move right there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the data flows.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to have such high quality judges who can handle the stress and the chaos that's going on. You couldn't do it without the contributions that come in from these judges. So that's an exciting thing. I think that, you know, some really powerful messages have come out here. One of which I will say for Mentor Melora being the design force behind this app. You know, we see that art plays such an important role in programming, and really it plays it at early levels of learning and also at more advanced levels when we get into data science and try to bring complex data into a format that's useful by whether you're a professional scientist or you're an administrator who's trying to evaluate the work of your colleagues or the students under your care. How we present that, you know, the art of information is such a big part of this. So having the ability to see art and programming work together is a powerful thing. And then I think Mr. Davidson, you know, kudos to him for having such a supportive environment for his teachers, because as many are already familiar with, this is an intimidating subject to get involved in. And for people in my generation, you know, not everybody they didn't learn programming. There was very little classes available when we were coming up, and computer technology oftentimes wasn't even in the schools. And so it's something that we've all been playing catch up. And for our platform, you know, we are there to support teachers, never replace them, give them the same patience of failing forward and learning the skills. And as they all quickly come to the understanding, as students quickly surpass their skills and become the teachers in the room, that's kind of the whole point of kidOYO, right? Kids owning your own learning and becoming the leaders, becoming the communicators, becoming the student mentors. And the teachers can really start to fulfill their talents of directing these students toward higher order questions that they might be interested in asking or thinking about, and finding ways to bring program into every area of the curriculum. That's the work that really is getting started. Having the courage to get into something like this, you know, just big kudos. It really speeds up the process of learning for everybody involved. So exciting to see.
We'd like to also remind everyone to follow us on social media using the hashtags hashtag HackLI and hashtag Code Conquest 2021. We would love to see some photos, some war room photos. So if you can put it out there, that's great. Or if you want to just support your local team, don't forget, follow us on social media, use hashtag HackLI and hashtag Code Conquest 2021. Okay, so just taking a quick look at the board here, seeing again two straight defenses.
Oh,
Up and
an
again, just
upset.
as soon as I say it, it gets done. So
Bayless Bengals just took that lower heel.
I'm sure we have people at schools watching this, and it's just important to recognize we have never had one of these hackathons not come down to the final 20 minutes to determine the winner. So this is really positioning right now, and you get off to a fast start. It has never mattered. They've always been pulled back into the crowd, and you're going to see that. You're seeing it happen right now.
Honestly, it is right and it's going to change back and forth. So in the rooms, you got to make sure, kids, that you are keeping your attitude aggressive. Just because your territory just got taken, take it back, take another one. Just keep battling. You guys have got this. You'll see there's still some territories open around the perimeter that have no one sitting there, vacant territories. So strategy has to come into play. All 8 members of the team can be working toward different projects. They can collaborate, they can work together. And also, so you have an idea on the backside, we have a judging queue, and in that queue, the projects are coming in order. So every project will be judged in the order it was received, and that helps us keep the integrity of the game. After the first event, there was so much activity and the project work had gone up and the graphics were up. We had to do a lot of optimization between these different events to really keep up with the pace. So, shout out to our dev team who are watching our server, making sure that this is running smoothly. This is it looks simple on the screen, but to see the back end work it takes to support this event is pretty impressive. Our team's doing awesome back there.
how many hours do you think is put into this? I mean,
to the making of the app itself?
yeah.
Gosh.
That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever really computed it. You figure our first prototype, one of our judges, Mentor Zen, is really the prototype first ever map concept creator. And from there, we've had multiple mentors involved and student mentors. Some of my student mentors who started with us when they were very young are starting to, they've taken their AP tests and they've gotten university credit, and they're done with K-12 CS. And so they stay involved, but they have been involved in building prototypes and showing how we could have interactive maps. And we've been able to test this over many, many years until finally, I got Mentor Mike back there. He has been a driving force building some of the functionality in here and working with Mentor Bo, Mentor Jinx, and Mentor Sabrina, and Mentor Sunny. Everybody has some contribution going on in this map. And so over years it's emerged. I'm not sure what it looks like on an hour basis, but it's a significant investment of time. And it became quickly apparent to us how important a tool like this was. Not only because the students said it, the students drove this, right? It was coming right out of a 4th, 5th, 6th grade mind saying, this is what we need to do, right? And that's so much of what kidOYO does. We have 25 editors, and they start in as early as pre-K classrooms where kids are learning sequential logic riddles and just becoming familiar with block-based programming. And then we build bridges over into some of the more literal languages like Python, and building their own websites and learning JavaScript and HTML, and try to build the bridges between the concepts that they work with at early ages and then become very proficient with even while they're still in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. For many of our students, they complete the AP CSA and principles testing as early as 6th, 7th, 8th grade. They get university credit with scores of 3, 4, and 5 on the test, and there's nothing else academically available to them. And so we've even gone as far as having our direct dual enrollment with our partner and sponsor of this event, Long Island University, who has made it possible for us to say, here is applied CS. Most CS studies are going to be based on research and theory, but we need skills that can add up to something that employers and entrepreneurs can use directly in the marketplace. And so Long Island University has been a great partner and has sponsored all our hackathons, and even provided these kids with an opportunity to get into the university credit earning process outside of AP credits while they're still in high school. And that's been exciting.
Wow. We have a tie, and this is not an unfamiliar tie. We saw this at the middle school level. Mineola, Megabytes, Men, Haxit, Fury. These two teams are strong, and their people are coming for them for sure. But look at right behind them, Coden Eagles and Syosset. And it's a tough battle. I mean, it keeps changing hands continually.
We have the Syosset, the Syosset coding dynasty going on here. And you could see that they're starting to make their move as well. And they have a lot of teams gunning for each other and then gunning for the top spot. So this is going to be exciting. Also, I believe we'll be joined later today. So stay tuned. We're going to be joined later today by the superintendent of Syosset, Dr. Tom Rogers. And we have a special interview with the big Ram himself, the West Hempstead #RamFam superintendent, none other than Dan Riemann. So I'm super excited for that later today. So keep it where it is. Stay tuned with us.
Yes, indeed. Stay tuned. That'll be not too long. And right after we hear from Dan Riemann from West Hempstead, we will announce those winners from the competition. Throughout on Tuesday, teams had their first view of the map. And that's how this event works. When the event's running on the Friday, on Tuesdays, the teams get to join and they get to see what the Capital Defense Project definition was. So this year's Capital Defense Project was to create a representation of their airship, and the creativity, they could have done this in any programming language using any of the editors. And it was really our team's first glance at what we were going to experience during this event. And I mean, to say our hair was blown back is an understatement. What is coming out of these kids at 4th, 5th, and 6th grade is really what the expectation was not too long ago for what would be at the college level. So seeing those skills pushed down here, when we start to demo some of these projects later on, I mean, hold on to your hats, people.
That's a good point. I mean, sometimes when we're working in a language like Scratch, it gets confused as a baby language, and yet when you show it off at the university to people studying computer science, maybe if they haven't seen it before, they're always very surprised at how much complexity you can bring to the language. And in fact, up at Harvard, they're using it as an introduction to computer science in their CS 101 classes. So, the ability for it to play an integral role in the learning, I think we've seen, if there's one thing that's jumped out over the past year, that is if you don't have computational integrity in your literacy methods, you're really going to fall behind, right? We need to make all literacy functional literacy. And so, as Mr. Davidson again said, the opportunity to use a platform that has always been virtual first, right? We're programming, and everything we do from a learning standpoint, we've got virtual learning built into all of our editors. So our mentors can see the code that our classes are writing real time and make contributions and edits to their methods and discussions around those methods in real time. Helping everybody to come into that kind of a skill base is really the mission. And so when you see the districts that are participating in a hackathon like this, you got to give a big shout out to the leaders at Mineola and Syosset and Hauppauge and Manhasset and West Hempstead and Locust Valley. As we just heard, all of these districts understand and put it into motion, bringing it all the way down to the youngest learners and starting to build this skill into everything that they teach. So that really pays off big dividends. Start them early and let them take off and drive their own pace of learning.
We just saw a string of defensive wins, and then we just saw checkerboard on some offense getting back on track, and then Mineola again using their savvy goes over, grabs a vacant territory. Right behind them, we see the Tigers get turned back on one of theirs, and we saw the Coding Eagles get turned back too. So a lot of getting turned back by the error glitches. So really just unbelievable here. So when Hauppauge pulled in and they tied up with Mineola, Mineola quick grabbed another territory and pulled right back ahead on the leaderboard. So
it's just constant change of hands.
Yeah, it's a frantic pace, absolutely frantic pace.
Interestingly, we have a lot of empty territories still. We got plenty of territory to come on that map that doesn't even involve going against another team. Just the first project that meets the criteria will earn a point, and all of our claws, 2 points each, are still vacant, and many of them have teams that they may be working on it. They're sitting up
reachable.
there on the knuckle.
Yeah, we got one. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 that are reachable right now. With the other 2 that'll be within reach pretty soon. So yeah, absolutely.
We're going to try to make it around and talk to some of the coaches. We've got a lot of teams, and we're probably not going to make it around to everyone, but I do want to pull in some coaches and hear how things are going soon. But I do want to say here, as you're looking at the map, literally every time I look away, I come back and there's a different scenario on the map. It just means that the amount of work coming in is outstanding. And you can see there's 6 attacks waiting in this upper, the middle toe area, 7 attacks on this middle toe area that Manhasset Fury is sitting on, defending right now. So that has to be a nail biting moment in that room. In fact, while I'm talking about Manhasset Fury, I think we'll try to let's see if we can get into that room. Maybe I can get Mentor Doug to summon that team in, the Manhasset Potato team, or I'm sorry, the Manhasset, Spuds. I want to bring the Spuds in. Sorry, not the Fury. Let's bring the Spuds into the room. Oops, we have a student who is, where do you need to go there, Presence?
Can you hear me? Very Hill?
Yeah.
Yep. Berry Hill?
Yeah, Berry Hill. I left the Berry room because they couldn't hear me. So.
Okay. Let's see if
All
we
right.
can get you into your room.
President, so you having a good time today?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Any bold predictions?
Silence.
Yeah.
Predictions are hard.
He's contemplating. He's got some. He's excited. He's excited.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time assigning him to the room, as a matter of fact. So just give us a second here. Your account is not allowing me to move you at the moment. We will get you over there, though. We're just having a little bit of a technical glitch here.
We see all the dirigibles flying in. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 simultaneous attacks. Great job by the mentors, by the way. I mean, and the judges, unbelievable. The fury of work that's going, crazy. All right, we're joined by a celebrity coach here.
All right, Miss Marilisi.
Marilisi. I'm sorry, I butchered your name because I'm Italian. So.
Oh, you got it right, Marilisi.
Nice.
I've probably done it for all of the years I've known Miss Marilisi, which has been a long time at this point. So you've been, you've led a lot of students through coding experiences. And I know this year was an interesting year because your teams finally split up and your middle school kids went up and we split down so that there's 2 teams at the upper L. So
yep. And COVID also split us up a little bit more because we actually have Muncie Park 5th graders are at Shelter Rock this year. So we're all mixed up and all together over there.
Nice. So do you have any special war room techniques that
they're excited and we just let them go, honestly. Like today they're on their own and we released the birds and let them go.
Now I heard a rumor that you might have some sort of a voodoo doll of some sort that you are using to your advantage.
Our voodoo doll is actually a lucky dev doll that is sitting on different kids' computers to promote our lucky dev helping us to get through the competition.
Nice.
We can actually grab him for you in a second if I can get Mr. Costello real quick.
Nice.
To grab him and come down. We have lucky potatoes from our middle school, dropped off our lucky potatoes for our Spuds.
Nice.
And the Fury is using our Manhasset Monster as their lucky charm.
So how did you guys come up with the name Spuds?
So the Spuds are because they are baby potatoes and our Manhasset middle school potatoes won the competition.
Nice.
Spuds. They are their little prodigies from our middle school, and they definitely enjoyed working a little bit with with that team this year. They are very familiar with them, being that they went through both of our schools for so long. So they are very excited to be Spuds, and Fury came out of the dragons and the fire that they love for coding. So Miss Costello is bringing some of our props in right now. My partner in crime, who I could not do any of this without.
There you go.
And
Oh,
we have our
wow. So-
lucky Dev coming in right here.
Little X Games
I'm a little
competition.
nervous to get him out of the room, but here he is.
Oh boy.
Lucky
You
Dev.
gotta get the vest and the hat.
There's a lucky potato. We tried to do the vest with a little bit of tape there, but
Nice.
not so great. We needed the Oyo bot in the middle.
That's
I mean,
pretty
Well,
good.
Melora,
That
can you
looks almost
comment if
exactly
Dev is
like
moving
him, I
right
gotta
now? Is
say,
that a true
right?
voodoo doll?
Pretty good.
That's
And then we got the
fantastic.
lucky potatoes, and of course our Manhasset monster with our Fury Flame.
Nice. Can we see? Is that is that Coach Costello over there? Coach
Hey, Coach
Costello.
Costello.
Like an X
Welcome.
Games competition happening over there.
And
Awesome. You guys are doing a great job. The team spirit. I also have to say something too. I just got to take a moment. In the community, we have a public wall. And this wall has been alive since the first moment we let the students in. And the thing that is really standing out to me is the attitude of kindness, really showing a great team spirit towards the competition and towards each other in the teams. Like, what do you attribute that to?
so I think that it really attributes everything to kindness. Really does matter. Positivity, friendship, leadership, and sportsmanship are our three main ships that we have the kids focus on. And we are united. We are one, great community of code love code. And it really does all stem back to kindness. And we really hope to instill that in our kids, that competitions are great, but we want to do it with pride and kindness so that we are successful, win or lose.
That's awesome.
That's
Great
awesome.
message.
All right,
They're
and then
cur-
one
they're
more
currently
question for
tied,
you.
right?
One
So
more.
the Fury and the Spuds are currently tied. Of course, I just jinxed them because the Spuds just fell back a
Well, we
point.
got to get their lucky toys back in there too.
Yeah, that's what. So you're right. That's the whole point of this, right? We're all in this together. We're working together.
Correct.
But be honest with us. Is there a little bit of a rivalry there between the Fury and the Spuds?
Not at all. Not at all.
Nice.
X Game style.
X Games.
We're all one, we're all Manhasset in the end, and we've been pushing that from the beginning. I mean, we're two different schools, and we've been pushing that since we've been working together. So we're one big team split up today.
That's right. And Ms. Costello and I work perfectly together, so it works right in with our program. There's a couple other teams out there, and Melora, I'm sure you know who my personal favorite is to go after today.
I think so.
But we're going to keep it positive and kind at all costs. So good luck to all of our teams. We're having the best time, and we hope you are as well.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks
Great,
so much.
Coach.
We'll let
Thanks
you
so
get
much
back
for
to your
joining us.
war room and
Thanks for
return the
setting
goodies.
such a great
All right,
example.
guys.
It's
Have a
awesome.
good day. Thanks.
You too.
Thanks so much. Hey, look, I mean, with how well Manhasset is doing right now, the future is so bright for them. You figure that they're at the elementary level. They fielded two excellent teams, both banging it out right now on the map. So I'm excited to see what, the middle school next year, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So great stuff.
Yeah, it's a perennial force. They already brought victory home this year, and so they're pumping the pipeline.
Yeah, they're creating the same thing, right? We talked about the dynasty earlier. We could see that we could see Manhasset trying to create a dynasty here. And they're off to a pretty darn good start considering they won the upper division and now they got the elementary. We got the board almost filled too.
That's one of the hidden aspects of this is the teamwork between teachers serving as coaches across these multiple age ranges, scaffolding up from elementary all the way up to high school. When you go into some of our meetings with like the Computer Science Teachers Association, sometimes the conversation turns to, it seems difficult to go down and grab the younger teachers to participate. But, at kidOYO, we see it exactly the opposite. The enthusiasm down at the younger ages feeding all the way up to the AP teachers. and letting them have access to even more students who are just really drawn to this subject. And so it really is a teamwork that's happening across the entire district, feeding skills up the chain, so to speak, I guess, and bringing more people into applied computer science, because we need it. You know, our whole region needs it. We need more and more talent for all of the opportunities and problems we need to solve here locally.
Wow. I just want to point something out here. We've got Hop Hog, Code and Eagles sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now, and they are the only Suffolk County team in this competition today. And there they are sitting at the top, alone in their county and alone at the top right now. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm rocking my my blue themed kidOYO. You know, it's this Hop Hog Coding Eagles blue, I would add as well. So yeah, good. Looks like they brought them good luck, and they are atop of the leaderboard, which is terrific.
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting thing. For kidOYO, we started in Suffolk County, so we've served, I don't even know, tens of thousands of students from Suffolk County. But, you know, I think maybe in some ways our presence out here has taken some of the pressure off some of the schools in Suffolk County. And so it would be great to see more participation coming into this computational literacy. We got plenty of student mentors from Suffolk County, but oftentimes they're kind of running solo out there, building their own learning methods as independent students who work with us rather than as teams. So, you know, the support of the districts, the support of teams and coaches bringing the skills to bear, it just improves the entire condition of the island and improves all of our hackathons to have more and more participation.
Look, and you talk about technical skill sets and skill sets that are needed. You know, I work for ranked by Fortune magazine as the #1 company in the world, Cisco Systems. Cisco's always looking for talent, and you know, we've seen how automation, network automation, how important it is. And you know, the apps now that we're dealing with, you know, the apps aren't you know, adjunct to businesses now. The apps are the businesses now. They're connecting you know, companies to brands, and these are all skill sets that that companies are going to need to keep moving forward. So you know, this is such a great experience. And then look, some of the soft skills, but I think probably the most important of the skills, and you know, Coach Marilisi hit on it, is that look, you learn teamwork, you learn to work together, you learn to thrive under pressure. I can't even imagine what some of those students are going through right now in that room, especially when you have a great project and you turn it back. You know, speaking of Mineola, you know, Mineola has such a great, you could tell that experience matters, because every time Mineola gets knocked down a peg or two, they grab a vacant territory, they regroup, they start coming up with a plan. So great coaching by Mineola. Just pulled in another territory, pulled themselves back into second place after riding the leaderboard.
Yeah, and I'll say, you know, no, there's no surprise here that you know, we think Mineola has just done a phenomenal job for the island at large. They were our first school partner, and the support that we have received day in and day out, from the admin to the teachers to the students, I don't know what to say about it. It's honestly, it's been phenomenal. And their board is fantastic. They're so involved, and they
Yeah.
make time for what is important. And I think being willing to change expectation, to push people out of their comfort zones, to give the extra training and support to the teachers, top notch.
Yeah, you know, funny. I love to break his chops, but I like to break the administration's chops. But you know, Patrick Talty might be one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. You know, absolute ab smasher, and you know, despite his snack proclivities during board meetings, I think he does he's just a phenomenal person. You know, Mike Nagler, who I heard was voted the best looking superintendent on Long Island, I think he does you know, it starts at the top. He does a great job. And just a point of trivia for those at home. I'm the person who came up with the name Marvin the Mustang. So the Mustang statue up front, I'm taking full credit for Marvin the Mustang.
Well, that all makes sense now. I've wondered why I've heard that name out of your mouth so many times, and now I realize.
When I was there last time I was there, one of the kids said, I was taking a selfie in front. One of the kids goes, "You know that Mustang's name is Marvin, right?" And I go, "Yeah, I think I heard that.
Nice.
Hey, just a reminder, everybody, follow us on social media using the hashtags #HackLI and hashtag Code Conquest 2021. Love to see war room pictures. Love to get your feedback, and we'd love to see the support for all your students that are out there. Just absolutely rumbling. We see the Manhasset Fury making their move. They're tied now with the Hop Hog Code and Eagles, followed very closely by the Error Glitches and the Mineola Megabytes, and the kidOYO Village Variables starting to make their move. So I have a strong suspicion that we're going to see some really late fury from kidOYO and Syosset. They've got a lot of tough competitors, and you want to talk about what their future looks like in coding. The fact that they were able to field this many teams and they're all competent and doing a great job. There's no B team here. They're all A teams. It should be really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from Dr. Rogers later this afternoon, who is the superintendent at Mineola, and talk about really I have some questions about how do they create this sense of community, unity, and engagement, because they really do a phenomenal job over there. You mentioned there's two teams sitting up there at the top, Hop Hog still holding their top spot with Manhasset tying them up. But what I'm looking at in the combat log is the defense projects and how many defenders there are. And that means that those projects are strong that are sitting there and they're hard to beat. So you have to try to innovate. You have to come up with what would be creative enough to stand out and show skill and creativity, so much so that I can knock the defender out of their position. And that is just not happening right now.
Yes, and there's a great feedback loop taking place right now between the competitors and the judges, because as you can imagine, it can get even harder for judges when you've got such a fast pace of project-based attacks happening, and small incremental changes sometimes can work against you rather than putting a little bit extra time and effort and making larger changes. But some of these teams are holding back with strategies. So, this isn't just programming. We are seeing some strategy thinking and teamwork and communication with captains leading their teammates to their activities. We're running out of unclaimed spaces on the map. So they're going to increasingly have to keep communicating, stay patient. And for all the teams that are still struggling to get on the map, patience, never giving up. We fail forward. There's a lot of failing forward all day today by all the teams. And so they're still in it. Nobody's got this thing wrapped up by any means. And we're going to see a lot of changing hands over this. I want to go back to something you said, Dom King, because, first of all, we're appreciative that Cisco let you come out and play with us and be the Dom King as the Cisco Cyclone for your day-to-day activities. And you bring up Mr. Talty as a professional atom smasher, which he lists himself on social media as, working at Brookhaven National Lab. It's such an important thing. One of our first efforts was working with Brookhaven National Lab, and I remember the early days them saying to us, "It'd be great if you could get more Python developers here on the island. We've got all this work. We have all these satellites that pull data in and we store it here on the island, and we got to make it useful to our scientists. And we use Python as a means of accessing that data and trying to create visualizations and methods of harvesting the value that is embedded inside those large data sets." And that really, we took that to heart. We really made that an immediate priority. You think about some of these languages, we as a dev team producing professional projects and products, we use Python all the time. But, in the early days, before it became something that was kind of democratically pushed out to everybody, how you would build bridges to these languages for the young minds was the challenge. And we've seen that really pay big dividends over the years, to the point where now Python is such a powerful language and such a useful language for early learning, but then it continues on. And so I think it's exciting to have the participation of leaders like Mr. Talty, not only on their boards, but he comes out and makes contributions to the island. It's not just stuck in his zip code, and he's had his own kids involved in these programs. And so, you know, it makes a big statement. Parents have always been the driving force at kidOYO. And I think the schools are obviously aware of that. There's a big feedback loop that the parents and the schools and the teachers all play a part in.
Wow. And I was just going to say there was an upset on the map and Hackett Fury had made it to the top. But in that time where I was gearing up to say it, boom, the tie's back and someone came in and took that point away from them. I can't even see who that was at the moment, but it was an upset. So we're back to a tie. Men, Hackett Fury, and Hop Hog, Toad and Eagles. So Deb, speaking of Python, the 4th through 6th graders are doing Python projects, aren't they? On this map.
They sure are.
You know, in fact, we saw, and I want to say it came out of one of these Syosset elementary schools in the last couple of weeks, we saw a fully functional tic-tac-toe game made in Python that came in through one of the kids, I imagine, on one of these teams. And I were you as surprised as I was, Dev?
Well, I think we had to share with our entire dev team because of just the way the code was written was elegant and showed some real creative understanding of the language at such a young age. So it was exciting and kind of made us reevaluate the challenges on our map, whether we were raising the bar high enough. Sometimes that's the hardest work, is calibrating our challenges to the high school, middle school, upper elementary, and making it appropriate when you got skills just constantly increasing. You know, for us, when we're at the university 5 years ago at the university, it's a completely different experience today. The students we were working with at the university 5 years ago, you know, be hard pressed to compete with the students that are coming into the university today. They just have so much more familiarity.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing was too, is in terms of the skill set, I know I saw this put out on Twitter earlier, and then when I saw the Capital Defense Project come in, I could see why, but some of these teams are bringing even some more advanced tools into the web development side and learning to work with Bootstrap templating from an extremely early age. And we know that a lot of the websites we see out there on the internet these days are using the same skill set. So how do we explain that that's happening from a 10 and 11-year-old classroom?
Yeah, you have to see it, right? Because we're introducing them to frameworks and libraries from the very beginning, and we're teaching them to read docs and, you know, understand the importance of reading code before they ever start really writing code. But at the same time, you know, if we try to introduce computer science concepts to a young learner, you quickly start seeing butts move in the chairs and the attention span is struggling, and you got about 5 minutes and you've lost them. So, you know, it's very important to understand what motivates the young mind. And it's not really hard to see. They're gaming, right? And so learning how to build games, learning how to engage some of the social functions, learning how to build chat rooms, learning how to bring JavaScript and Python together and access frameworks and libraries to extend the utility of their own creativity and that they bring to projects. All of that, when you put it in front of the kids and they realize they can find it, learn it at their own pace and their own choice, there's really no limit to how fast you can move. And that's why we've had 6th graders take the AP test and get university credit. You know, they had to change the rules at the College Board to prevent someone under 13 from being able to take the test because kiddo students were doing it at age 12. And so, you know, now he couldn't log in to see the score that he received. He was too young for their privacy requirements. So now we've got these students that's starting to replicate, and they all push each other, influenced by their peers.
So we have only one vacant territory left. You know, when I was prepping for today's event, one of the things that stuck out at me as I went through the names was the sheer amount of micro-credential badges that were earned by some of these competitors today. Can you talk a little bit about how important that is and how important badging is to students? Because it seems to be something that they are absolutely, you know, totally crazy about.
Yeah, I'll field that one. You know, we put badging into our platform from the very beginning and I wasn't quite sure in working with open badges what to expect from that. I wasn't sure if it was going to be viewed as just a little trinket or if it was going to have an effect on the learning process. And what quickly happened is that we understood that the students just really enjoyed having the feedback loop and having the ability to show off their skills with a badge that was more than just a cute little object that they could share. It actually carried substantial information inside of it. And so the ability to prove skills with evidence, meant a lot more than in some cases you get a piece of paper as a report card, but what does it mean, right? Or you graduate with a degree and it hangs on your wall, but what does it mean? So, I'm not really surprised that it has extended its utility through the K-12 space and into universities who are starting to engage badges and micro-credentials as a means of breaking skill acquisition down into the small components. It really plays a big effect for me to evaluate people who I would potentially hire. I don't even want to see the degree. I want to see your portfolio. I know I talked to Melora, who would tell you, have you ever used your degree? Has anyone ever asked to see it? No, but when you put a portfolio together, yes, we're going to look at it. We're going to look into it. We're going to evaluate it. We're going to see the projects you build, your scale of interest. We're going to look at methods. It's all right there.
Awesome. Cool. Well,
So
we have a special guest joining us. We have Mr. Dan Riemann from West Hempstead, the leader of the West Hempstead School District. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We're just happy to be here. This is a great opportunity for our kids. We participated in the upper division and the kids learned a lot, had a tremendous amount of fun. Plus, they got to meet some classmates from around, not just Nassau, but also Suffolk, which is wonderful.
Yeah, the cross-district engagement has been phenomenal. Definitely phenomenal. I wanted to kind of go back in time a bit to the first time that you and I met. It was a little over, well, it was almost 4 years ago, to be honest with you. I guess 4 years ago at this point. And I think the thing that struck me immediately was this was a time when not a lot of school districts were implementing a coding platform yet. And you had made the comment to me that you knew it was going to be a struggle for the teachers and you knew it wasn't going to be easy, but you really just didn't care because the number one thing that you cared about was giving the best access for your students to something like this. So now fast forward to 3 years. You have any regrets?
Oh, not a one. No regrets about adopting the program and adopting the philosophy forward. Just the fact that we've been slowed down by COVID. And, nothing we can do about that, but we're building a core team, no pun intended there. Sorry, for Maura. But, we're looking to expand it out. We've had the great opportunity and fortune to expand our tech offerings at the high school. So now we have a pretty much comprehensive program throughout the district, and this is a big piece of it, and we're looking to expand even more. We've seen what Mineola has done, and Dr. Nagler, and other districts around the island. We're still in the novice stage, and we're not making any excuses. We're a team that really likes to come on late, so we're looking to make some moves here in the future. But regardless of where we end up, the most important thing is that our kids are competing against others and doing it in an appropriate manner. I just want to share one quick story. There was some dialogue, I guess, back and forth prior to the event, and one of our kids had jumped in. And, kids can be kids. Sometimes they might go the wrong way, but I was so proud of all the kids that were involved in this chat because they took the lead to congratulate each other in advance and look forward to the opportunity to meet one another and learning from one another, right? And that's really what this is about. Learning from one another and how to improve your practice and get better at your craft and what you're passionate about.
Absolutely. I think I might know who you're referring to because I pointed it out on the wall to my team this morning and saying, look at just some of the positive messaging and
right.
That we're seeing a student from West Hempstead step out as the captain, congratulating everybody for just being there, making it okay to be nervous, being transparent that he was nervous too, and then coaches from other districts. You see Manhasset coaches, Syosset coaches, Locust Valley coaches, all
Right.
coming in and being part of that conversation. I don't know where I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the beautiful things about our school district, and we look like America, and our kids are good models for adults. And, you know, some of our adults in the United States struggle right now with having civil conversations, as we all know.
Yes.
I'm not going to go down that path, but our kids, someone new walks into our district, and they walk into the cafeteria the first time and they look lost. Our kids will just grab that student, that classmate, and just have them sit with them until they find their way. And no one's offended when they find their own group, because everyone needs a group, right, and a clique to hang out with. But knowing in the bigger picture, everyone's a part of a larger purpose. So this is just another piece of it. And I have to say, I'm so impressed by the platform itself because of the array of programming that's out there, right? And as we all know, not everybody knows, because I do have to have these discussions with some of our families who just think, right, math, right? But this is another form of literacy.
Yeah.
And it's so important to promote that message that this is another form of literacy. And whether you like it or not, that it's going to be part of our kids, your children's, our students' future. And so I'm not saying everyone needs to grow up to be a coder, but they should be familiar with it and have an experience with it. And the kids who are truly passionate about it, like all the students here, and nice to see Hop Hop jumping out again. Let's see who else can come up behind them. You know, it's just another great opportunity for kids to chase down their passions. And that's important to me. As the superintendent of schools, it's my job to give all of our kids as many opportunities as possible, right? And this is another avenue to do that.
Hey, Superintendent Reeman, quick question for you. Tell us a little bit about your feelings on Coach Perlow.
Oh, listen, Miss Perlow had come to us a few years ago, and she's done really an amazing job of promoting this and promoting technology and based on best practice, right? And she's gone above and beyond. She doesn't just help out our students at GW, but she would play a big role with the upper division and our older students. So, and she really is the link, right? Because she's the one who is introducing our students to this. So if it doesn't get off to a good start, they're never going to find that passion for it, right? More than likely. So she's done a great job of introducing this coding piece to our district, to our students. And and the best part about it is she doesn't know every program. And that's not a knock at Ms. Perlow.
No.
That's a great example of, hey, I'm a learner too. Doesn't matter how old you are. I'm going to learn about this too, and we're going to do it together.
Yeah, her level of enthusiasm for approaching the unknown is just top notch. And inclusiveness. I think she does a phenomenal job of really including every type of student that you have. And, and whatever she's doing, she's got definitely a magic touch. And I think it probably does point to what you're saying in terms of she not afraid to say she doesn't know how to do it, and we're just going to jump in and we'll put our toes in. And you know, I know that she brought in some of the Arduino, our kidOYO prototyping kits, and was willing to jump in immediately with that at the younger age. And you could see the look in the kids' eyes when they got to be the one who figured it out, even though the teacher couldn't figure it out. How brave is that?
And that's what we want, right? I mean, you know, adults have a tendency to talk a good game, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but we say we're risk takers, we say we're going to model risk, but we're always the ones who are trying to be perfect and not ever embarrass ourselves. And what we're trying to promote here is, listen, we want to get it right the first time. Who doesn't? But we want to embrace mistakes because that's how you learn, right? And getting your hands dirty and figuring things out. I know our upper team, Amy. Sorry, we have some chaos going on outside.
I almost broke my ankle
We're in the
putting
middle
my jacket
of
on.
cleaning up. We're in the project C of our bond, and we're building 5 brand new preschool classrooms right below us. So there's a lot going on out there today. So I apologize.
That's
But
okay.
you know, we're going to get the young ones started on this too. So that's all part of the big plan. But getting back to the point of well, what were we talking about again? I'm sorry.
We were talking about being brave and being willing to fail in front of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the culture we want to create here. Like, take your mistakes and learn from them. The upper division team, you know, I don't remember where we finished, and that's not the point, but they debriefed after. They said, this is what we did well, this is what we didn't do so well, this is what we learned from other teams. And so when they go and compete again, they'll have a better game plan going in. So, and that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
That is learning. That's really how you define learning.
So
Well-
Superintendent Riemann, our theme today is Monster Island. What's your favorite monster?
Godzilla,
Over Kong?
Godzilla.
Figures. Absolutely figures.
Listen, guy, you saw how it ended, buddy. You don't even go there. I mean, listen, Kong's good and all, a nice guy, but come on, give me a break. It's Godzilla, buddy.
Yeah.
The guy can go underwater. The guy can
that
shoot fire. The guy's resilient. Resilient. That's what we want our students to be. Resilient.
Oh my, yeah. Given
Tough
your
skin,
proclivity for
buddy.
other teams, I'm not shocked at that. you're-
Listen, Mr. Pamora, no disrespect to the hot coating Eagles, because I know they're only Suffolk. Oh no, Whitman too. They're a Suffolk team. I know you're out from Suffolk, and you know it's a little sunny out there, and you guys like to bathe a little bit, so your skin might be a little softer than ours, but it's all right. We'll toughen you up too.
Hey, you want to talk about tough? I'm playing hurt here. I tried to throw my jacket on. I tripped over my weights and almost
Oh,
busted
Lord.
my ankle throwing my Ram Fam jacket on. So
Listen.
I'm playing through it. I'm
All
playing
right,
through
listen, I like to hear that. Rub a little dirt on it, you'll be all right, buddy.
it. What's the all right, so we know the answer to that. That's interesting. What do you expect from for the second half here? Do you think there's any tricks up the code breaker sleeves right now?
I think we're strong finishers, you know. I think we're learning on the fly here. I think we're taking things in. We're going into battles, and whether we win or lose, we're learning, and we're going to apply that and transfer it to new situations. So I'm expecting a strong finish here.
Can you comment on the fact that people say that Dan Riemann's bringing the superintendent bow tie back?
I think I'm trying. You know, sometime I have some game. Other days it's a struggle, but you know, we're working on it. I would like to just throw my name into the mix next year for best looking superintendent. Listen, I see what Nagel looks
It's
like.
Nagler.
Come on now. If Nagel's going to get voted best looking man on the planet as superintendent, I'm going to throw my own name in there, and I'm not a good looking man. But come on.
I mean, maybe you need to get rid of, you have a little too much hair.
Is that true, or is that just a rumor I started?
That's a rumor you started, buddy.
That's a rumor.
Well, I can't thank you enough. You're, one of the true gentlemen. All right, last question, and this is always, we always try to throw a couple of tough ones.
Sure.
All right, next year's hackathon, after the hackathon, you and me out on the baseball diamond, your best pitch. See if I take you deep. What do you think?
Let's go. I'll just walk right out from the bullpen. No warm-up pitches, buddy. I'm just going to bring it.
Nice.
Awesome. What a
Great and fast.
just a
even
true
hard
gentleman
time.
of the business. One of my favorite people. Absolutely hooks me up with the swag. I'm not going to bring up the fact that you lost your ticket at Rockin' Fights and tried to stick me with it, but that's
Still hold that against me, buddy.
we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. But
Excellent.
just really, what a great leader and education. And I got to tell you, your team is tough, and I'm excited of what we're going to see from them in the second half.
Listen, we're new to the hackathons and the tournaments, and we're just truly happy to be a part of it. And they're going to keep learning, and they're going to keep growing, and one day we're going to be up there at the top competing. And either way, we're happy to be a part of it, and want to thank all of you. I know this is an uphill battle, and it's starting to build momentum, and eventually that snowball is going to be at the top of that mountain. It's just going to take off and roll downhill. So keep up the great work, everybody. And if there's anything we can do to continue to support this, just let us know. So thank you all again.
Thank you so much for your support. It's an
Be
honor
well.
to work with you, and we look forward to great things together. So thanks so much.
Absolutely. Good luck,
Well, that sounds
everybody.
good.
Well, enjoy the weekend. Take care.
The big Ram himself. We got Dan Riemann with us. Unbelievable. Again, true gentleman of the business, and we're real psyched at the work that they're doing over there. And hashtag Ram Fam. Also follow us on social media, hashtag HackLI and hashtag Code Conquest 2021. So we'd love to get your comments, love to see inside your war rooms, and love to see just some support. And we might read a couple tweets if they're appropriate. So we'll see what we can do on that. But just great to have it. Also heard too that we're going to get later on in the program, we're going to be able to speak with Tom Rogers, superintendent of Syosset. And I also heard from Ken Graham from Locust Valley, so we might be able to grab him a little later on in the program as well. So stick with us here. And just want to say, you know, Mr. Raymond made a comment about Suffolk being soft, but right now Suffolk is in a commanding lead with the Hop Hog Coding Eagles painting that board blue. They're starting to make some serious moves here.
Yes, well, that very animated conversation was awesome to hear. We had a lot happen on the board. We've got claws that have been claimed by a couple teams, and we've got pending attacks on the claws, which again, those are worth 2 points, where all other territories are worth 1. So it's really starting to shift our board around a lot, and we're seeing changed positions all over the place.
Oops.
We've got we're not quite at the halfway point of this competition, so I think
there's a long way to go. You know, hey Dev, one of the things I wanted to hit on with West Hempstead, you know, earlier with Mineola, and it's just as true as West Hempstead. Who starts at the top? They have a tremendous, just a phenomenal who's so supportive of education initiatives. It's probably going to kill me mentioning her name. Karen Brome has been just a huge supporter of this, supports the administration there. So it's always great to have have a good board that'll help, and they really push forward, and and you could see it as this continues to grow.
So important. You know, sometimes you hear the negative stories of education because the negative screams and the positive whispers, but here we are all across Long Island, parents wanting the best for their kids, and the schools are responding. They put in a lot of work to understand things that are constantly changing in the world, constantly advancing new skills, new methodologies of integrating literacy that wasn't even around 30 years ago. I mean, the internet it just got its license to go down to the local bar. It's a 24-year-old, right? It's a new baby on the planet. And these kids are going to be part of the fundamental infrastructure of figuring out how to solve some of the core problems that the internet still has with privacy and data integrity, doing all the things that is really important to have a civil society function. You know, the internet came from DARPA, out of the defense agency, so we could have the ability to leave siloed communication, which obviously here we are. Every school, every zip code functions as its own silo of activity, but now we've got the ability to collaborate and communicate with each other. And I think even in that conversation we spoke to a little bit, letting these teams see each other, even though they are from different districts and can influence each other's approach, and celebrating each other's wins. You know, it's not just a win-lose competition. It's win-win-win all the way through. Just being able to see what other people are doing is so important.
All right. We are going to now move on to a section of our competition where we announce who won some of the side competitions leading into this. So we had 3 additional side competitions that are running alongside the main, obviously, Conquest winner. And the first one of these is the best team banner. So every team was given the objective to create a banner using original art, using original creativity to represent your team in the best way. So we saw a lot of those banners popping up before, and I'm not sure if Mentor Doug is going to have those streaming across here or not. It was tough as always, and maybe even tougher than, again, the other competitions that we saw. The best team banner went to Team Hop Hog. Hop Hog Screaming Eagles presented us with the best team banner this year. Congratulations, Hop Hog Coding Eagles, for your awesome pixel art. The team loved the eagle, and it was tough because you have it in a couple of places to determine where we wanted to issue this. It was just great. Love the creativity. I love the idea of the eagle flying in over the edge and using that simple pixel art to convey something that looks so realistic and professional. Just a great job. Good job.
Awesome. Good job by the Coding Eagles.
Good job by the Code Eagles. The next prize that we had, and your prizes will be coming if you've won in any of the divisions coming forward for these side competitions, everything will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned and watch for your prizes to show up. The next one that we judged was the best team avatar. So every team, as you see on our regular map, when we talked about this before, has a logo or a team avatar that's representing them. These can be static images or moving images, GIFs. And this was tough again because so much creativity. After much debate, we had settled on a winner, and the winner of the best team avatar goes to West Hempstead Code Breakers. Congratulations, West Hempstead. We loved your design, the moving animation. You can see that they're using binary code in the background, smashing that code and displaying some of the bits behind the code logo. Really creative, great use of colors, great use of pixel art. So good job there, West Hempstead. And we see tons of creative pixel art coming out of them. They've got a great artistic sense in the digital space. So congratulations on that, West Hempstead. Now the next one, this was the hardest voting experience we have had for the entire hackathon season. This was the best capital defense project. And now each team was just challenged with a very general idea. They said they had to represent their team's airship in any way they wanted, using any programming language, using any tool in the platform. And this is where our team got the first glimpse of the talent that was coming at us into this age range, and our own excitement went through the roof. So it was tough. The creativity was amazing. The time and effort. There was some original songs in here where kids composed and even sang their own music in the background. The artwork was off the roof. The concepts, the gameplay, the mechanics they used for realistic velocity and of gravity. It was phenomenal. But at the end of the day, we could only choose one. The best capital defense project was submitted by Hauppauge Coding Eagles. Phenomenal project, Hauppauge. We were blown away. This was done as a web project, which we're going to see here. We have bootstrap templating. We have a story, and it was what was so creative about it was not only did we see each component of the ship, but they led us on a journey where we had to unlock code, get through the experience to come up with numbers that was another code. And each project that we went through revealed one of the digits within this 5 number code to access the final project. It was so creative, so well done. The story behind it was engaging. It was fun to go through and try to beat those games and try to find the code. It reminds us of we created something called a code cache long time ago. And it was really a journey through where you have to go through this kind of a geocache moment where you're on like a treasure hunt in a digital space. And it was just phenomenal. Every project within it was unique. The artwork was amazing. So congratulations, Team Hauppauge. You really came through. You really entertained everybody. It was phenomenal.
Like it. Absolutely amazing. Great work.
And if Doug, if you could go back to the main view. So I think I just want to point out that the refinement of this project was fantastic. And I know that I saw some of the coaches' commentary in front of the submission of this project, just the collaboration and the student-led leadership that was going on to teach methods. And you could see the use of the Bootstrap framework to build their website and to have a top-down view. They really achieved the spirit of the entire challenge, but it was clean. It had participation from all the players on the team, and just so impressive. Our team at the end of the day was unanimous in our support for this winner. So kudos to Hopog for your work. And again, this was all built in 48 hours. So we delivered the theme of this map and the challenge requirement for the Capitol Defense not until the final 48 hours of the competition, when that's when the teams can start working. So all of this was built in a relatively short period of time. Really says a lot about what these kids are doing.
Yeah, I mean, just excellent work all the way around. And I know that this coach has been working really hard. Some of these coaches coach multiple teams across the leagues. I know that Mineola Megabytes has a coach who's been there with the other team coming in from the middle or the junior division, and so does Hopog. It's usually a group of coaches, and I know Hopog has a couple of coaches coming in as well to help out and support in this. And they've really created this unified experience of moving from grade level to grade level, owning their own customizing. And some of the Hopog teachers probably sit at our top badge earners across the platform, competing with even some of our most active kids out there. So again, phenomenal job. And a special shout out to Dr. Murphy, who from the beginning wanted to bring something in and create the glue in his district in terms of tying together all of his STEM initiatives. And it goes again to the idea that the administrators here are so important in giving the support to their staff to make them have the tools and resources they need to be able to succeed. So again, thank you, Dr. Murphy, for all of the intensive work, bringing us in over and over again to reassess, touch base, and realign to make sure that your kids are getting the best. They really are. Fantastic job.
Awesome. And Doug, if you could take us back to the map while we're doing this, let's see what has evolved while we were celebrating our winners. And I see we have Emma. Which team, Emma, do you need to be taken back into? Looks like you lost connection. If you want to type it, I'll route you to your team.
We'll message you. You can message us there. Just remember, if you do get kicked out, come back in and put your team name after your own name so that we know where to put you. There's about 150 plus students competing today, so getting you all on the right team is sometimes a little challenging.
Look at
Also, if you are already in a breakout room, you can just click the button in the bottom of your Zoom window to get back.
All right, well, while we were celebrating, the SIO error glitches have changed the map entirely and have taken the lead, have claimed claws and knuckles and internal territories, just a complete revamping of the map. So like we said, it happens very fast. There is no winner until the very end, and we're seeing it happen live right in front of us.
Wow. I literally, once again, I look away, I turn back, and bam, it flipped.
Yeah.
Do not
Yeah,
turn your back on Syosset.
Yeah, we said that we had a feeling that was going to happen, and now we're seeing that come to fruition. So, but again, there's still plenty of time. Still plenty of time.
Now, one thing too, and we haven't really talked about this yet, is at this point, and the map is almost full. The claws have been taken over, and there's an attack pending on that final claw. So taking over those claws is meaningful because of the extra points that there are. But generally, even at this point in the map, we see a couple of open territories, but not here. Everybody's gunning for every territory. And so the attacks are going to keep coming. If you have a project, don't sit on your haunches and think that that project is going to always stay there. Think about what happens if you get taken over. How is that going to impact your game? And during the last 30 minutes of this game, something different is going to happen. At this point, you're safe in your capital. If you're not on the map and you're only in your capital, you're still safe. The last 30 minutes, capitals become attackable. And that means that teams who are sitting on the map can turn around and try to take over the capitals that are sitting there without a spot on the map. And that's going to change the game as well. So that's one of the strategies that we might see it coming into play during those last 30 minutes.
Right. And, funny enough, I mean, that component of these hackathons was a student idea, right? And an adamant student idea. I wasn't quite sure about that feature as a dad and as a mentor. That's not, it seemed aggressive, but the students were like, listen, Dev, for the integrity of your event, you better include this. And so, all right, we're listening, and that's been a fundamental part of all of our hackathons ever since. And everybody is going to have an equal opportunity. I think one thing that stand out on this map, I don't think in either of our other divisions, high school or junior high, was every territory on the map claimed. And I see we only have one remaining claw that is unclaimed. But other than that, the upper elementary has seized every single territory on the map. So impressive results are happening.
I think we might have a special guest. Nope, not in here yet. Doug, if you can bring Bayville from Locust Valley into the room, bring Bayville into the room. All right, so we have, again, it looks like things might have slowed down just a little bit. Some of we're not seeing 7, 8, 9 attacks sitting on a region. So now we're coming into a more challenging part where the projects that are sitting there are good. And they don't just satisfy the minimum requirement, they're tough to beat. So trying to come up with a strategy to which ones you think you can overturn. And then you have to think 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. Because once you take over that one territory, then what's open to you next? So you need to have those projects ready to go. And with 8 members on a team, everybody should be busy. So captains, think about strategy. How can you best direct the efforts of your team? This competition is about at the halfway mark. Is that right, Dev?
Yeah, I would say we are maybe a little bit past that. I think we're getting ready to, the countdown timer wasn't how we launched this map, so I have to figure that out. But I think we've got about an hour and 15 minutes left in the competition, which means we're about 45 minutes away from capital attack phase.
All right, we're going to try to get. It
We're
looks like now.
having
So
a little bit of a trouble bringing Bayville in here. I'm going to try again to bring them in, but it's not looking like. With Bayville, there's a lot of different accounts in there, so I'm not sure which account is the main account to come back into the room.
And while we get that figured out, so now the entire map has been taken over. So that is not something we saw on the first hackathon of this year, where there was a couple of open territories that were left. And then last hackathon, we got to see a couple spots taken at the last minute. So now we have everything taken, including the nails up top, which are worth 2 points. And we have, 4 attacks going, 5 attacks going on, 6 attacks going on right now. So this is just again, a frantic pace. We're moving forward, just about an hour, a little over an hour left. Excited. We're going to try to grab Superintendent Ken Graham from the Locust Valley School District if we can get the Bayville room in here. So it should be good.
Hey, Dom King, I don't know if you're in conversation there, but many of Bayville is there. Each student is in the room, so I'm not sure which one of those feeds should come back to the main room. So you need to find that out. If he's coming into the room with us, that would be great.
Great. I'll work on that right now.
All right, and while we're doing that, we can see that now Syosset has another team up at the top. We have Village Elementary School coming up there, and we've got 2 schools sitting one right after the other, pushing the Hauppauge Coden Eagles down into that 3rd place spot, which is another log jam. And wow, as I'm looking at it, we're seeing Berry Hill, which is coming out of the Syosset School District, as well as the Coding Wizards coming out of the Syosset School District. The Coding Wizards was a middle school team because, as you know, this competition is open to grades 4 through 6. So in some cases, we might have 4th and 5th graders on a team. We might have 4th through 6th. All of our districts here on Long Island are split up a little bit differently. There's some are K-6 districts, some are K through 5, and then with a middle school that's at 6 through 8. So we have the opportunity to have a lot of different teams coming in. Always looking for more teams. Starting off in the fall, we will have an active skirmish and skill dash season where you can kind of look at that as your individual games. If you're thinking about this in terms of traditional sports, where one school versus another school, and you can book those continually through your Book a Mentor feature with your OYO Pro Passport. And the OYO Pro Passport, will also give you access to our Summer of Learning. This year we have an endless summer of learning for teachers with the OYO Pro Passport. Every day there are synchronous learning opportunities, classes running, as well as many asynchronous opportunities so that you can hit that PD at any time.
I just put out a message to all contestants that we will be starting the capital attack phase at 12:25 p.m., so about an hour from now. And that will correlate to the final 30 minutes of the event. We got a little bit of a later start, so around 12:55 is our projected end time at this point.
12:45?
12:55.
Oh, 12:55. Now, what happens if there's a tie, Dev?
Well, we've never had it. We would extend the time for an additional 5-10 minutes just to see if we can unseat the tie. And we want to have it be one winner at the top by the time we're complete. So we've never run into that constraint. It's always sorted itself out naturally on the regular clock. So if we have to extend it, we have to extend it. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams up here. We try to make the map in such a way that we're not going to end up with a tie, but it's hard to tell when you have this many teams coming on what that's going to look like. This monster theme is interesting because of, monsters really kind of goes across a wide gamut. So I'm sure the mentors are having a blast and also probably feeling like they have more to do during this event than they have in any of the other events. So that's pretty exciting for these guys. I see that we now have, we've managed to pull in the superintendent from Ken Graham from Locust Valley, and we are excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us, the rookies of the group.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
How's it feel to be the rookie in the room?
Well, I mean, the true pressure is on the students and the teachers. For me, it's exciting to be the rookie and watch our students involved for the first time. They seem really excited. I was just over with the team at Bayville. I see them in the camera in the background. So there's really no pressure from my seat. They're doing all the heavy lifting. So it's exciting though.
Yeah, we've seen, we had a chance to talk to your assistant superintendent, Mr. Davidson, a little earlier about launching this program out in the middle of this pandemic. And you were our first district to have that experience. And I use you guys as an example a lot when I'm talking to districts who are considering now we're still in the midst of this pandemic, on how do you take those first steps and feel comfortable when the teachers have an abstract kind of experience? And you guys have done something so powerful because they came out of the gate so strong. I haven't seen a district come out of the gate so strong, having never had live training. So what do you think is so special that's going on at Locust Valley to create the empowerment in these teachers?
I think, Mr. Davidson, who you met earlier, was really committed to, I think, some structural changes to our delivery of library instruction. And he, shared that with our library staff, and they just took it and ran with it, and they were excited about it. And so we've really devised our library program and curriculum that's focused around enrichment opportunities for students, this being one of them. And I think that when this was presented to the students were incredibly excited. So I think it's just that excitement. Structurally it was in place for last year, and we plan on continuing that on through next year and even building our programs larger. I was just over at Bayville and we were talking about how we're ready to add another team. And I think that, so I think it's something that as a district we're supportive of. Our students are clearly excited and our staff is clearly excited. And so those three things put together, I think the sky's really the limit, and hopefully we'll continue to have more and more students involved in the programs.
Hey, Dr. Graham, can you tell us about what the room was like? Like, what was the atmosphere in the Bayville Brainiacs room today, the war room?
Oh, they were, well, first of all, I tried to have a conversation with a couple of the students, and they were pretty darn competitive. So I think that I even said to some of the girls, I said, you know, is it okay if I ask you a question while you're working? I don't want to distract you from the task at hand. And they were really, you know, accommodating and interested in telling me as they continued to work. And I found the same thing over at Locust Valley Intermediate also earlier this morning. And those students were equally as engaged, but willing to take time out from what they were doing, you know, to share with me a little bit about what they were doing and explain it to me. But you know, I think that the competitiveness that the activities that are constructed here allow for, you know, and then collaborating that with the coding, I think it's a perfect mix to get kids inspired and fired up. And clearly they were fired up.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
And you do mention something interesting when you said you were talking to one of the girls on the team. You have the strongest girl showing that we've ever seen come on from a team. What do you think is contributing to that?
You know, interesting. I'm not sure what we can attribute that to, but we do have throughout the district some robotics teams that participate in some of the you know, the leagues that are dedicated to like middle and elementary schools. And what I've seen so far in my, you know, and it's a short time here, but what I've seen in my time here is that we do have a lot of girls who are involved with robotics as well. And over at Bayville, there was, the team was predominantly girls. So I think that there's a lot of parent support for, and school support for getting our female students involved with coding and technology and STEM related activities. And it's great that they're willing to support that and able to support that. And I see that continuing to grow as well.
That's awesome to hear. From an organization that has half of our team is women, it's such an important thing.
Yeah.
To have that involvement.
Absolutely. I'm happy to see it. And I know that the girls on your team they're very good at managing, and they're very good at managing me, as it turns out. I get messages
Which
constantly.
nobody's good at that, just so you know. So that is quite an accomplishment, as Devin
That's
can attest to. Hey, Dr. Graham, so our theme today is Monster Island. Who's your favorite monster?
Ooh, my favorite monster, huh? Oof.
You can say Matt Pomera. It's okay. Nobody's said it yet, but
I might have to bump into Matt Pomera at another time, so I don't want to say Matt Pomera necessarily, but you know, I would say maybe like King Kong.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That's how you know. Again, Dr. Graham is a true gentleman. Picks Kong. I like it.
So we just finished halftime, right? So what's next for the teams, you know, post halftime?
Well,
It's
that's a
gonna
good
go
question.
crazy.
The competition's going to keep flaring. You'll see this map is going to change many, many times. At the 30-minute mark, so when there's only 30 minutes left of the competition, a new element gets unlocked. And that means that all of their capitals can go under attack. So these capital airships now are each unattackable. Ooh, we're zooming in on something. I guess it must be an epic battle happening. But yeah, so the teams now right now they're sitting safe in their airships, but if you're not on the map and you don't own a territory, you are vulnerable to attack from another team once that last 30 minutes happens. And it will happen. It's one of the strategies. I think coming in as a rookie this year, your team will learn a tremendous amount about the strategy of playing a map.
Yeah.
And they'll come back stronger next year. And I imagine the skirmishes that we'll see throughout the fall are going to be brutal and frequent. But I think what we're seeing is we saw these kids come out the very first couple of weeks, hit your learning paths, fail a lot as they always do, and take that feedback and quickly turn it around with an aggressiveness that their skills are pushing forward fast. you guys haven't even been on the platform for a full year and here you are competing. So I think that says big things about your district
Yeah.
and about what we're going to see coming out of your district in the coming year.
Yeah, one good example I would say is, Eastport was our last winner. And they, same thing. They had a little bit of they had a slow start because they had jumped on, and now they're a powerhouse in Suffolk. So I see great things for Locust Valley, the Falcons, and we'll see what goes on, especially because you have two very strong teams competing.
Yeah, I'd love to see, this continue to thrive in the district. I think it will. I think we have the right staff in place, and I think clearly our students, our community, Board of Education, we have a lot of support. And I think that you're going to see us become a real powerhouse. So I'm looking forward
I
to
do
it.
too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Graham, on Fridays on Twitter, and I know you're a Twitter guy as well. On Fridays on Twitter, I do something called #FamFriday where I wear swag.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell you, I'm a cardigan man, and I'm a 2X. So if you have you have a cardigan laying around, I could give it some love. Just
All
want to
right.
throw that
Duly
out there.
noted. Well, any
I was wondering how he ends up with so much swag, and now I know it's shameless.
It's shameless. It's just ask, right? Yeah.
Pure shamelessness. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Dr. Graham. We really appreciate your time, and we appreciate your support and love having you guys here in this competition.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate being involved, and I'm looking forward to watching not only our Falcons compete, but all the teams. So good luck to all the kids who are involved and the faculty and staff. And thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Great to have Dr. Graham, Locust Valley Superintendent, join us. Guy, he joined us off the cuff too. We messaged each other. So again, tremendous leader, great leader. Starts at the top. We've been saying that, and there you go.
And look what happens while we're having these great conversations.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Again.
Oh my gosh. Look at this. There's a SIO domination happening in the top 3 spots. We have Village Elementary.
There you go. Manhattan just jumped the Wizards.
You can't even say it before it happens. There's so many attacks. So we still have that bottom heel. What is that territory, Doug? Maybe we can zoom in and see what's got 5 attacks sitting on it right now. So who's holding that? SIO Wizards. Ooh, they have to be nervous sitting on top of that. So that's a sprite editor, vampire to a bat. So that means you have to create an animation where you have a vampire turning back into a bat, or a bat turning back into a vampire. So using the sprite editor, create an animation of a vampire turning into a bat. Wow. There's probably some really good submissions coming in for that. Oh, we're going to get to see one. Awesome. So let's see. Nice. Look at that.
Oh, that's great.
That's so
So
good.
as you can see, it's not easy to defeat these projects. Once we get to this point in the competition, the bar just keeps getting raised, and that's a substantial project. So we'll see how long that holds. And you'll also note, if we go back to the map, every territory has now been claimed. The final claw is claimed by our current leaders of the competition, at least last time we looked. The SIO Village Variables claimed the final claw down at the bottom, pinky toe of our monster island. So now every single competition, every single territory has been claimed. Every single project-based attack is team versus team, raising the bar on prior submissions.
Excellent. So in about 15 minutes, we'll have our next interview showing up here. So we have about, I wonder if we could get in and see any of these teams who are taking the top of that leaderboard, or if they really don't want to be seen at that moment. You can see Village now. The downside of sitting at the top is that everybody starts aiming at you, and you can see that 3 of their territories are under attack right now.
That is very true. And I just announced to the entire group that at 12:25, we're going to be starting our capital attack phase. So I think there's a lot of, right now, getting ready for that, trying to position themselves to be immune to attack or to be able to attack. And we'll see what happens once that part of the competition begins.
And error glitches, just so everybody knows, error glitches is actually Robbins Lane Elementary School. Robbins Lane Elementary School is what you're seeing there. From Syosset. Now we see, our mentors and us specifically, we like to get in and check some of the challenge work coming in from students across all the districts, because it really helps us see how our challenges are being attacked attacked. I mean, we don't attack during the school year, how they're being submitted to. And it gives us a gauge on how we can change the challenge work to better accommodate the students, to better accommodate the skill set. And every year we find ourselves redoing, reanalyzing, and meeting the needs of the students right there. And what we're seeing is challenge work that was being approached by the high school level students and above is now coming down into these elementary schools. And we're seeing these school districts with these implementations that are K-12. Syosset's a K-12 implementation. That means every student in their school district has access, as does Mineola. And I should say too, every student in their school district has access to this learning opportunity. And it doesn't end in the school day. It goes home, and they continue to work on it, and they create this sense of environment. So I think what you're seeing is these kids have been challenging each other on their own school walls for years. So to come up to the bat now for them is their moment to shine. All the hard work they've been putting in throughout the years, doing the challenges, going beyond the challenge work into the creative space. This is their moment to shine. And they are.
You make a good point. We see challenge work happening every weekend. We see it over holidays, Christmas morning. It never stops. Literally, it never stops. And we run a Code Long Island community that has always been a community where historically families would come together. We'd have 100, 150 families show up to learn about Python or Java or whatever for the day. And parents and kids would fight over the keyboard, and you would quickly see the need for more than one machine at the family table, learning how to code together. And that community is continuing. We got 1,400 members in it right now that are coding constantly and sharing their learning and sharing information, whether they're engaging C# or building Unity projects or whatever it might be. But it's really inspiring.
Over the summer, coding does not need to stop, and competing in hackathons does not need to stop. With the kidOYO Passport program, you can continue your learning with our mentors throughout the summer, and we will have all kinds of skirmishes happening, skill dashes, and some code conquests happening over the summer. So think about it. If you play sports during the school year, sometimes you go to sports camps in the summer, skill up and come back in the fall with new skills. Maybe you get a chance to work with kids who are on other teams that you compete against. Maybe you can compete together. Really gives you a unique opportunity. And I'll quote mentor Doug, who said earlier, and I really liked it, was that we're making Long Island a little shorter. So I like that because we're unifying kids who are coming from the far East End, getting to work with kids who are coming from all the way close to New York City. It really is exciting to see. We are a unique part of the world here, and we're building some skills that are not seen anywhere else. We are heads and tails above other places because of the investment of the administrators and the teachers, the students, and most importantly, the families at home pushing the demand, supporting this, and demanding excellence for their own kids.
So Mineola's back making their move after falling a little bit further back. Now they're going up in the third place. They just knocked off the Wizards. We have the error glitches still up top. Well, second actually, and then right behind their I guess their brother team, I would say, the variables. So Scio Village variables. We got the error glitches. We got Manhaxit Fury with Mineola. So everybody's on the move right now. The pace has slowed a little bit, but still out there. Right before that, we saw the Fury turn back to Hop-Hog Code Eagles. So a lot of stuff going on. All the territories are taken now. So we're going to see how the color goes here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 challenges going as we speak. So again,
yeah, and it looks like there's been a couple of turnovers here where they were able to come back, regroup, and come up with a project strong enough to take back another territory from someone. And that's tough at this round of the competition, because as we saw, even from that one animation, these are good projects sitting on those territories. So you can't just throw any old thing out there and hope it's going to stick. You've really got to innovate here. And so everybody's digging in now. I think Manhasset and Mineola here might need to be skirmishing against each other soon, because they end up battling head to head quite continually, it seems. So must be frustrating. You guys are constantly coming up against each other there. I know you know that I've heard from both sides some rivalry going on in terms of knowing who's got talent coming at them. So sitting there and tied for third place. Anything can happen. It's still anyone's game, as we know. Do not get discouraged. Even if you have continually been denied in your attacks, don't give up. This map will still change many times, even though it doesn't seem like possible in an hour. It will change hands still many times. So just a reminder too, we are on social media. Follow us on Twitter. We're at kidOYO with a KID_ capital OYO. We also have 2 hashtags going right now. Code Conquest 2021 and HackLI. So tweet us out. Let us know how things are going in your war rooms right now.
Send us some photos too. And again, we might read some of these tweets online later. So stay tuned with us. And again, follow us on social media. Got a lot going on here. I'm following it right now on TweetBeam, and I'm looking at all of the tweets right now. So a lot of good stuff cooking here.
Yeah, I think teams are right now realizing, okay, so we're about, 35 minutes out from the capital attack phase. The quality of projects holding territories have risen the bar for what it takes to grab control of a territory. And so they're back in there working together, collaborating, communicating about what it's going to take, figuring out who's got the skills that are going to be required, maybe putting somebody on one project, another person on another project, capitalize on that. We've now got a tie at the top of the leaderboard that it just keeps flip-flopping back and forth. So it's anybody's game still to this point of the competition. And
one of the fun things about being live in this competition is I can say stuff and you guys can't shut me down. So I also would encourage anybody that wants to meme dev, feel free to meme dev. I saw some really good ones so far today. So definitely check that out if you get a chance.
Yes, that is a frequent, including my own team likes to meme me. I think my mentor Jinx, one of our key developers, created a Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, that was great. I just saw that. That's what made me think of it.
It looked painful.
So I got a tweet from we got a couple of good tweets up here now. Just from Maria Sidor, who basically said, working hard, brains going, really excited to be out here. Go LVI code monkeys in the cloud. So thanks for using it. Thanks for using our hashtags.
Hey, here's a little piece of interesting fact happening at the moment. So we have Village Elementary being led by a Marilisi and Manhasset being led by a Marilisi. Battle of the family. So it's like a family feud going on there. I wonder how things will be when you get home. Miss Marilisi. Oh, and there you go. Mineola is back at the top spot. I might be the jinx. Maybe I should not be talking about any of the teams right now, because every time I mention their name, somebody switches hands there. Mineola Mead White's coming back out of nowhere.
Yeah, and they're so excited. They're Mineola proud. I just saw one of their tweets online. So excited to cheer on our Mineola megabytes from Mineola ILL. So pretty cool stuff out there. And again, put your tweets out there. Don't forget to tag, use the code Conquest 2021 tag, as well as HackLI, and we'll read some of them on the air today.
Now seems like a good time to talk about some of the opportunities for kidOYO students. One of the exciting things that happens over the summer is for kidOYO student mentors who have demonstrated exceptional skills. We are constantly creating opportunities for them to step into leadership roles. And so during our unlimited summer of learning opportunities with live sessions led by mentors, we're hiring student mentors to lead those sessions, and they earn awards based on their contributions. And it's really kind of a cool thing to watch because they'll bring their own interest. They might build games in Roblox, or they might build some Minecraft projects, or introduce artificial intelligence with Python, and you're learning from a 14, 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old student mentor who is working with 8, 9, 10-year-old students who are passionately interested in the same things. And it's just that ability to pass the knowledge down. And we're constantly trying to open up more and more opportunities to expose this kid-driven, right? kidOYO driven, self-led leadership for them. And that's going to continue to be something this summer. On top of that, the opportunity to work with professional developers. While we are passing skills down to teachers, sometimes it's kind of cool to come and work with people who do this every single day and see what methods are being used in that framing. And so the idea that everything's always virtual, this summer is going to be another virtual summer for us so that we can reach more schools and, see if we can't integrate into some of the local camps that are happening at schools, but mostly a virtual experience. So it'll be an exciting summer to see some of those skills keep advancing.
Yeah, I can't wait for the summer. I can't wait to see what comes next. But I'll be honest too, is now I've done 3. This will be my 3rd one. I'm looking forward to being in person and seeing everybody, because just the reaction I'm seeing on the video here, absolutely. I can't even imagine what the energy is going to be like in the room. So definitely excited.
Last year, and I brought this up before, we had the middle school division, which is now the junior division. We had that event March 12th of 2020. And that was the last big live event we had. And it was the last time everybody came together before everybody, locked down the following week. So that was it was an interesting transition. I'm really happy that we've been able to continue this when so many things have been canceled, to be able to still bring this into the schools and give the kids this opportunity to compete and be connected. Feels really good to do. But I, like you, I miss all the kids. I miss all the excitement. So we're looking forward to having some live events again. I know LIU's invited us back onto their campus, and they'd like to host some of these, and we'll definitely take them up on that offer. It's a beautiful campus, and the kids will all be excited to come together. Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm not going to say anything.
I was going to say, don't say anything. So right now we have a tie on top of the leaderboard. We have the mini of megabytes pulled right back. Like we just did it. Hot Coding Eagles and the Village Variables all in a log jam up top, followed by the Error Glitches, who are right behind them. And then you have the Berry Hill Beasts and the Manhasset Fury all on top. So this is unbelievable. Hey, do we have a time check, Dev? How much longer do we have now?
Yep, we've got an hour left in the competition, or 59 minutes left in the competition according to my clock, and we are 29 minutes away from capital attack phase.
Wow.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new to the coding world, like my dad, who keeps texting me, he has no idea what we're talking about. Yeah, wait until you see that part of it. That's the most exciting piece of this. You'll see some really great projects, and you'll see again a massive, just unbelievable talent just going at it to try to pull this thing out.
Yeah, and I know the coaches are they're nail biting right now. I'm hearing from a couple of coaches in the background, and they've been pacing for hours. So it's all this hard work and the time and effort they invest, and then you just have to kind of let go and let your team do what they're going to do. And it's tense. It's exciting. I can't believe we have a 3-way tie for first place at this point. This is really going to be an interesting final round. We're going to start to see, do their strategies work? Did they think through to this end point of the game when the 30-minute mark hits? Where are we in terms of preparation meets opportunity? And no matter how much you prepare, you don't know what is going to be in any of those territories when you get here. So the first thing that teams have to do is quickly look and see what projects can I create? What should I do? And then you're still kind of blind because you don't know what the other teams are going for and you don't know how that's going to impact your overall strategy. So these, once again, even though it seems like you have one team who's leading, as we've seen through this, that changes hands over and over and over again.
The fact that we have that log jam up top is pretty impressive, and just the amount of talent that we have working at it. Really great stuff here. So let's do the count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 battles going on right now. It's been said in football that defense wins championships. We just saw 4 straight strong defenses, which usually means when I say that, the announcer jinx, usually we'll see somebody fall. Oh, 5. So 5 straight successful defenses. Good, as we're going down the stretch here, quite a bit. And again, just an hour, with an hour left, there's still so much time. So anybody who's hovering down towards the bottom, I'm sure we're going to see, we haven't seen the last of any of the teams down there. I think we're going to see some big moves.
Yes, and I just added a countdown timer to the end of the event, which is going to be right on the hour mark, 1 o'clock. Since I couldn't set it at 12:55. So everyone is now aware of submissions will close in an hour and 30 seconds. And we're about 25 minutes, 30 minutes away from capital attack phase.
Big Dev, yeah, Big Dev giving an extra bonus 5 minutes there for everybody. So be interesting to see what people can do with it.
Yeah, some people probably like that, some people don't.
Well, here, Dev, here's the thing. I'm sure everybody likes it in the fact that, number one, it gives you more time to compete, and there's nobody that's in like a clear lead. So if there's somebody in a clear lead, they're like, geez, an extra 5 minutes, that might be tough to defend, but not at this point, because there's, literally 2 points separate, more than half the board, and 3 points separate almost the whole board. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and for those of you that are watching that timer, I think we've got a little bit of lag on our screen running the entire OBS setup here. So Doug will probably have to refresh that at some point.
So look, you could see some of the strategy here. You could definitely see some of the strategy, and where the village variables now are protecting. They're protecting the the fang, not the fang, the nail, the claw. So they're protecting their claw up top. Mineola was protecting theirs, but just lost part of the territory. So I have a feeling we're going to see that go up. But everybody's trying to protect those claws. You can see they're being insulated. So again, those are worth 2 points. All the other territories are worth 1 point, and plenty of time left.
All right, and with that, I'd like to welcome Dr. Rogers, superintendent from Syosset Schools, with a big showing here in this event. Welcome, Dr. Rogers, and you're muted, just so you know. You'll want to unmute. But welcome to the Code Conquest final session. How are things going over there in the district?
Well, this is an exciting new opportunity for kids. We're accustomed to the middle school competitions, and our students really look forward to those. We're proud of the fact that we've had a couple of good showings in the past several years there. So when kids do well, they always want to come back and defend their titles. So allowing now elementary students to have this opportunity in addition to the middle school students, I think has just been a great addition. Kids find it fun, and this is something that we've been able to preserve even when we were working on being socially distanced, because this is something that kids do virtually, and it's just kept this competition alive even though we've had a challenging year. So and then I think we all have a sense that our future is going to have more code, not less. And the more familiar our kids are with code itself and just the process of algorithmic thinking, it will make them just that much more competent in the future. So we're very excited about this. I'm proud of our teams and how well they're doing, and go SIO, but go all the teams in the competition. We're proud of you all.
Yeah, I'd say this is very unique to have so many teams. Now, Syosset is a very big district in general. And I'll say one of the things that I've been continually impressed with working with Syosset all these years, which has been 4 years at this point that Syosset has been part of our program, but it's the cohesiveness of a district that size. So how do you manage to create this cohesiveness across so many different school buildings?
Well, it's an intentional focus that we have. It's something that our board has made a priority. They want every student in Syosset to have the same great education, no matter what elementary school you go to, no matter what middle school you go to. And our teams work really hard at that and do a lot of coordinating work. And we do a lot of the curriculum work centrally and then share it with the principals. The principals meet together and plan together with a lot of frequency. But it's very easy for all of the different ships to sail off in different directions unless you're really intentional about making sure everybody sails together. And that's something that we've really embraced here. And we're proud of it. It doesn't matter which school you go to, you're going to get the same education, the same great education.
Yeah, I'll say I have to agree with that. In working with the different buildings, I'm not seeing a disparity with any of them. You can't really tell where the kids are coming from, and they come into our Code LI community as well. But one of the things that stood out to us early on was the above and beyond nature of the students at Syosset, where not only are they just tackling the challenges that are laid out in front of them, but we quickly saw them taking personal ownership and building projects to build their own brand and their own identities almost at these very young ages, where they seem to see the importance of creating a stamp of their own capabilities and developing a teamwork around that. So where you don't see one student coming in and maybe being jealous or envious of a skill set, instead they're building them up and they're impressed with it and they want to learn from it and they're mentoring each other. So how is that happening? I mean, how do you have so many students that are willing to mentor and support each other?
One of the things that we like to say around here is we complete, not compete. And so we believe that one of the strengths of our community is its diversity, and the diversity not just of our learners and our families, but the diversity of our staff. And there are people with different skills and different talents. And if we look at each other as an opportunity to be complete together instead of competing with one another, we find we achieve more. And I think that ethos finds its way into lots of things that we do. But I will share, I've been at Syosset now 7 years, and I share your impression when I got here. The kids were always above and beyond kind of kids. And that struck me from the first moment that I got here, and nothing has changed about that. But a couple of years ago, the board made that an explicit part of our mission statement, that we want our students to feel a sense of agency. And by that, we mean we want our students to think that they can change the world, that they are actors in this world, and that they are empowered. And so when you tell students that they're empowered, then they take that power and they do things with it that you won't necessarily, you wouldn't anticipate, that are all wonderful. And this idea that they're mentoring one another and taking ownership over their ability to be better as a community of learners instead of competing as a community of learners, it just makes every last student able to find their full potential. And that's been exciting.
It has been exciting, and it's clear to see. You see it from all of the students, and I would say that Syosset is continually ranked as a top district in the nation, and there's no surprise as to why that is, because we see it continually happening. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up was, I know that when we first met, one of the initiatives of the district was to de-silo the subject areas. So can you tell me a little bit about what that means and how you're implementing that?
Sure. We call it cross-cutting concepts. And what we're trying to do is, there are a lot of resources in a school district. One of the finite resources we have is time. And so every opportunity that you take to use time in a way that accomplishes more than one thing just multiplies the amount of time that you have, even though you haven't really changed the length of the school day. So if you have a lesson where you can learn about science, but you learn about science in the context of history, you're doing two things at the same time. And you're just amplifying your learning that much more. And you're also reaching students with different interests in the same lesson. So a student might not be all that interested in the radioactive decay of a certain substance, but they might be very interested in learning about the history of Marie Curie and the fact that she was a Nobelist in both chemistry and physics. So that might appeal to one student more than the science part of it appeals to another, but there's something for everyone in that lesson if you look at both. So what we've tried to do, and this is like looking under the hood and how it all works, our staff, especially in the elementary buildings, have been very intentional about looking at when the different English language arts units occur throughout the course of the year in each grade, what social studies units are occurring at the same time, and then what science units are occurring, and then finding ways to marry those up. And if they're doing a fictional writing unit at the same time that they're doing, let's say, space exploration, maybe there could be an opportunity to do fictional writing about a space explorer and what they find and what is or maybe is not scientifically accurate. So it's a way of, and each teacher is empowered to use their own creativity to come up with these ideas for cross-cutting lessons. And what comes out of that is really amazing creativity. So I'm thinking of a lesson at Berry Hill Elementary where the teacher was doing science concepts while simultaneously teaching the fairy tale unit in the ELA curriculum. And they were having students come up with experiments that were reflective of things that they had learned in fairy tales. And one young lady had built a house and then was using a hairdryer to be the big bad wolf to blow down the three little pigs' houses. And they were measuring the distance, scientifically measuring, I believe this was second grade, scientifically measuring the distance from the house that the hairdryer had to get before the house would blow down. And then to make this an engineering problem, after the house blew down, they said, how could we redesign the house so that it could withstand the wolf blowing on it from 12 inches away? And the young lady came up with something that I recognized as a strategy that is sometimes used to depressurize buildings so that they're not toppled by tornadoes. But she basically created a pressure relief system in the house. And then when the wolf came along, the pressure that's created by the wind from the hairdryer didn't blow her house down until it got 6 inches closer. So she had employed an engineering concept while working on a fairy tale unit. And I just thought it was a really remarkable lesson.
That's fantastic.
Very impressive. Very
I
impressive.
love that. And I think also you said second grade, which I just want to pay attention to that too, is that's really the crossover age, right? Where the kids kind of come out of their fantasy reality and into being able to produce some logical thought or break down problems. So hitting them with something that bridges that for them is just amazing. It's how kids should learn. It's more real world than anything else. So I love that. And we see it come through in the coding projects. I see your teachers challenging kids to bring content area into the programming and to try to use that to kind of, it makes their projects better, but then we see like a meaningful connection. So it really is impressive. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. You don't really need me to tell you that, but it's true. We're constantly impressed about everything that's happening over there, and the kids are doing a phenomenal job, as are all of your library media specialists. And a super big shout out to your admin team who has continually supported the pain of growing something to the size of it is when you have 6,500 some students on. They've done an amazing job. So kudos to you and your team. I took up all the airspace. I don't know if Dom King, you had anything you wanted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how about pass the puck here? Like what's going on over there? I have some hard-hitting questions that I need answered from Dr. Rogers.
Oh geez. I apologize in advance.
Actually, just real fast. The future of coding in Syosset. Very impressive showing here today. Both of your teams had impressive showings in the last 2 hackathons. Just real briefly, tell us about the future of coding in Syosset.
We're very excited about this. I'm so glad, Melora, you mentioned our library media specialists. They have really taken this and run with it. And I do think that a lot of our success is because of the way that they've embraced this and the way they've immersed themselves in it so that they can teach our students. And you said, something about logical thought starting in 2nd grade. We've taken advantage of this platform to really introduce algorithmic thinking as early as kindergarten. And, in the end, algorithms are if-then statements. And kids can understand if-then statements, and they can start to realize that if you string together a bunch of if-then statements, you can arrive at different conclusions based on having different ifs. And students do grasp that concept, and then you can turn it into coding. And so we've been really impressed by block coding that takes away some of the need to be so worried about syntax of coding and some of the particulars that get in the way. And with the block coding, all they have to think about is the algorithm, the if-then. And that really, I think, opens it up and makes it more accessible at younger ages. So as you said, we're 4 years into this, but I think as we see some of those kindergartners from 4 years ago start to come through and become middle schoolers, they're going to really impress all of us with what they're able to accomplish. And so, the future of coding looks like students who, each year we're getting students that started earlier as they move through. And I'm excited to see what that portends for their fluency and their creativity and their problem solving skills.
Yeah, spot on. And I don't know if you were listening earlier, and I'll pass it back, Dom King, I promise, but we saw a Python project come in this week or last week, I think it was, from a student at one of the elementary schools that blew our minds. That a student this was in Python, so it was not block programming either, but they had been one of those students that we've seen move through the platform, and they submitted to us a really well-coded Python project of a tic-tac-toe game that was phenomenal. It made us go back in and reevaluate some of the territory descriptions in here, like, oh my gosh, maybe we really underestimated some of these kids. It was impressive. So we're super excited to see what's going to come.
Just to put a bow on that too, we said, look, it's the SIO code dynasty, and you're definitely building a dynasty here on the coding front, just with so many great kids and so many kids competing. Very impressive. 2 quick questions for you, and we'll let you run. Who's your favorite monster?
Cookie Monster.
Oh, that's a good
one.
Good answer. Good answer. My principal
Must have cookie.
And we got an impression, even better. My principal when I was in school is actually working in Syosset right now. So if you need any good stories, Dr. Rogers, I'm sure he can give it to you, and you know who that is. And lastly, too, is it true that you are Michael Beschloss's half brother, or is that something I just made up and started on Twitter? Just trying to figure that out.
I'm sworn to secrecy on that point.
Oh, no.
That's not a denial. That's all I'm going to say. That is not a denial. Hey, we can't thank you enough, Dr. Rogers. You're a true gentleman, a great leader, and really happy to have you. And congratulations. You guys have your team has such an impressive showing.
Thank you so much. And if I could just tack on one last point to your earlier question about the future of coding here. I just want to mention that this really fits into one of our strategies around gender equity. And by starting earlier, before some of the gender stereotypes start to take root, we're trying to make sure that both boys and girls see themselves as coders, and they develop that sense of skill and agency and fluency before we see any sort of cultural stereotypes start to get in the way. And so maybe one of our secrets is that we're trying to make sure that we take advantage of all of the talent that's here and not just some. So our
That's very
idea of
important.
starting early is to make sure that we get all kids.
Well, it's clearly working, and your school district is doing a tremendous job with making that happen. So kudos to you as well and your district.
Agreed, 100%. I couldn't be more on board with that.
And I'll say, I love everything you just had to say, and I just want to throw a little bit more praise on your team, from Miss Payne, Miss Focchiano, everybody who's involved. They hold us accountable and to a high standard. And so it's never really surprising when we come into your communities and see kids performing at the level they are, because it just passes right through and it's obvious. So thank you for your leadership and participation in all of this.
Well, I'm lucky to work with all of them, and we feel fortunate to partner with you, and you make us better. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good things to come. Thanks so much, Dr. Rogers.
Thank you.
Good
Great
luck.
Cookie Monster impersonation too, by the way. Those,
That was spot on. I thought somebody was
we
playing
might make
sound,
that we might make that a regular feature at hackathons. So we
Yep.
know Syosset will be back.
There were 2 children's shows I watched a lot. I'll let you guess which the other one was.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Rogers.
Thanks, Dr. Rogers.
So while that was happening, again, great conversation. The map continues to evolve. We are 10 minutes away from the capital attack phase. Everything's gotten more bunched up at the top of the leaderboard. This is anyone's game. I mean, this is going to come right down to the wire.
Yeah, I've been keeping my mouth shut because I don't dare say anything about where anybody is at this point. I don't want to change any of the game, but I do know that, as we can see, the capital attacks are going to be open very soon. So for anybody who's first timers in the competition, what that means is get back in there and shore up your capital now. If you are unsure that your project is going to be a good one, have another one ready. You don't need just one as we come into this final moment. And also just keep pushing at those territories. You don't give up, keep quitting. You can see it's tough to push them off. We can see lots of defending territories going on right now, and that's because there's just such good things sitting there. So keep at it, guys. You're doing a phenomenal job. Deb, what do you think is the most important thing for a team to be thinking about at this phase?
What are they going to have to eat after this is over?
You think there's room for in anybody's bellies beyond the candy that's floating around in these rooms?
I don't know, whatever it takes to keep your energy at that high level, whether it's enthusiasm for what's coming, or, I mean, right now, I think the resiliency, I think Dr. Rogers spoke to it, this idea that we're constantly in this battle with attitude and learning how to code. It's so easy when you're just getting started to make coding more complicated than it needs to be. And I love that he draws attention to the block-based coding and, escaping out of the syntax difficulties of some of the higher level languages, because so much of education can be integrated at that level. And by doing it, we're introducing failure in a practical, hands-on way so that kids are no longer afraid that failure means I'm not getting an A+, and instead it means, look at this, my house just got blown down. How can I iterate on my results and change those results? What did failure teach me? And I mean, that's going to change the world. That introduction into the learning process alone is transformative.
And that's a good point for me to say something. It's brave to come into this competition when you're brand new. You don't know what you're up against. This might be somebody's like 3rd or 4th time competing and you're new. And so you have to be willing to fail in order to succeed. That has got to be the most important life lesson we take away from this, is be willing to fail, because one day you will succeed. You just keep picking yourself up and dusting yourself off. So if you get wiped out of this competition, or if you feel like you didn't have what it takes, all that means is you just need a little bit more time. You just need to keep coming back and practicing. You can do this too. And every person in this competition has felt the same at one point or the other, which is,
everybody was new.
Gosh,
right?
Where's all this talent coming from?
Yep.
Everybody was new once, and that's a big part of this. And that's and look, we're seeing, I think esport's a great example from our last competition. Esport, came back, dusted itself off, and guess what? Walked off with the trophy last time. They believed in their strategy, and they stuck with their strategy. They didn't go back and make too big of a dramatic change. And guess what? They pulled it off. So you've got to constantly evolve. It's just outstanding the amount of work today. And I have to tell you, this might be the most impressive of all the hackathons as far as just the sheer volume and the sheer work that's being created by these students. So very impressive.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think they were all the best dressers. A lot of
High
cool.
spirit.
Yeah, a lot of cool spirit. I love that, and love to see it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11
They are
attacks going on right now. We're on a run of successful defenses right now. So that usually when we say that, something will change, but excited. And as far as I don't know, what are you going to eat after this, Dev?
I'm thinking steak.
Nice.
Wow.
Steak for lunch.
I was just thinking, I bet you all my judges are, sushi and steak.
Sushi and
They've
steak.
earned it.
No, they're not. They're all eating candy too.
No, maybe you're right.
I'm drinking coffee like it's my job here. So
Me too.
so
Me
yeah.
too.
Going a little deeper into the day today with coffee.
Yeah, this is a little bit. Yeah, this is a little deep for me too on the coffee train.
I think you said the right thing though. This is probably the most exciting turnovers we've seen in this event. And we were expecting it as we started to see the activity on the wall and we could see the engagement. And then when we saw the projects coming, we're like, oh no. So this is going to be a ride and a half. So I'm sure the judges are going to be exhausted at the end of this because it's not easy to choose. I mean, just looking at the capital defense projects that came in, it took us hours to really digest what we were seeing and then try to figure out who won based on that because the project work was so strong. And again, we're talking about a group of kids that are in 4th to 6th grade. Some of these kids are 4th graders. So think about that in terms of the level of competition they're engaged in. I mean, a typical, like let's look at an AP World test, for example. That's a 3-hour exam, or AP Computer Science, say it's a 3-hour exam. This is a 3-hour event of constant brain drilling.
Yeah. Look, one of the things I think Dr. Rogers hit on, and just to expand on that theory a little further, as far as like this, stereotypes and before they set in and some of the, I don't know, social stuff, social pressures. One of the things I've noticed in this competition specifically is how fearless all of these students are. They're all fearless. They're, no matter what, they're out there, they're battling it out. They've got great, great costumes, great team spirit. And they're in a pressure cooker. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything else that they're doing this year. Even some of the testing, I don't think will be as fierce as this, just because of the constant bombardment. And if you look at the board right now, 3 points separates 5 teams. 4 points separates more than half the board. So this is really anyone's competition. Don't forget the claws up top are worth 2 points. So those are very coveted territories. And for the most part, the defenses about half of them are well defended, and the other half are going to be up for grabs. So we're going to see that going, and we're almost at the Capitol defense time. We're just a couple minutes away, and that's when it's going to break loose, and we're going to see a lot of different changes for the Capitol defense. This is your chance to hit the 8-run home run here.
Exactly. We're 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from Capitol attack phase. We got a slight lag on our view here from the live stream going out. So we're going to see a Capitol attack start very shortly here. And then, look, the Manhasset has jumped back up into a tie for the lead while we were talking. So we're going to see a lot of changing roles here. Back to your point, Matt, and what Dr. Rogers was pointing at, this is a critical age from really K through 6th grade. If we're going to influence the way the world works, and we're going to make these students believe they can change the world, and that it's normal, that there is no imbalance based on whether you're a boy or a girl. You know, it has to start early. You got to get to these kids and let them influence the sociology of participation. Because once they're in, it really is real, right? But there is a perception from history that is not accurate, but it finds itself plenty when you go out into the professional world, and we got to overcome that. So it's good to see when the leaders are making a point of it and the students fall right in line. They understand. They want it to be that way, and they want to collaborate with each other. So it's fun to see happen.
Yeah, and you're getting this sense of teamwork that you have to have in a competition like this. You know, the one thing I would love, and I'm trying to stay on topic here, but I love looking in the war rooms. I think that's one of my favorite parts. It's funny because I feel like the board quieted down a little bit, and you could see that. So. As Dev just puts out the notice that we're 1 minute away from capital attack phase. That's when I'm going to mask up for that. So I'll be ready for it.
Yes, the countdown, 45 seconds away. I am monitoring my judge view with the judges working hard. I can see they're working through the queue of various territory attacks. And as we get to the final 30 minutes of competition, every team should know this is really when it all starts to happen. I think we're going to have some strategies that have been stored up, waiting to put their best foot forward for that final 30-minute run to the end. And we'll see how high quality the projects that are already on the map have been, because the higher the quality, the harder it is to overcome. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Capitals are
Capital attack phase has begun.
okay. So for all teams, capital defense territory attacks may begin. In fact, I'm going to broadcast that message out to our room.
And as you can see, we've already got a couple attacks that have been launched. The rule based on gameplay formatting for capital attacks is every team has created their own capital attack to defend their own capital. When you have a project defending your capital, it cannot be used as a capital attack against another team's capital. You'd have to have every team was able to create capital attack projects in the 48 hours leading up to this event. So they were able to have a backlog of projects. The ones that weren't defending their capital could be used to attack other teams' capitals. The only teams that are able to be attacked are the teams that do not hold a territory on the map. So that's going to affect how much opportunity for capital attacks that there are. If a team does get taken out of their capital, they must retake their capital in order to come back on the map and then work back into the territories to try to make themselves immune to further capital attacks. So this becomes a little bit of a stressful part of the event. It is one of those areas where there's a little bit of a disadvantage being a rookie, because some of your advanced planning on how to devise capital attacks that can withstand attack, and also have some in your back pocket just in case you're going to be the attackers. That's where the team captain plays a vital role in organizing the team. And when you're a rookie, you don't quite necessarily understand that in living detail. So you're learning it right now.
Yeah, I was going to hit on that. I basically agree with you that this is where the experience really comes into play. So this is where you're going to see some of the teams that are a little more seasoned have an advantage. But again, I would say some of our rookies, I wouldn't count them out. I saw some of the determination in those rooms, and we're going to see what they come back with, because this is going to be an exciting and frantic finish. And again, it looks like our friends, the Coding Eagles, are starting to make their big move here, and they're absolutely on the attack.
And a reminder to the teams, if you do have your starship taken, you can take it back with another project. So you're not off the map, but you now have to take your own starship back with another capital defense project. you know, for those of you who might just be listening and not hearing the call, I want to give a special shout out again to our admin team at Mineola. Without them, we would not be here right now doing this, because they constantly challenge us and push us forward. And really, you know, speaking of being brave and being a rookie, we're willing to be the rookies in the moment and brave enough to implement a full K-12 coding program long before a lot of people were talking about coding programs, which really helped to lead Long Island forward in this push and really give us a strong advantage over really everybody. And I look at the map. Every time I talk, almost every territory is under attack, it seems. They're everywhere.
Everybody's been storing it up for the final 30 minutes.
Yep.
I'll say also on that point about Mineola, they pushed us to launch these hackathons, the fearlessness to put it all out there. You know, I say it all the time, hackathons are like assessments for applied computer science. You know, you're building these micro skills, but what does it all mean? Can we stack these skills together into meaningful project-based skills? And that's what we're doing here. We are assessing learning live in a team-based format, adding a little competition, making sure everybody understands what sportsmanship is all about. But, you know, here we are learning socially together. And you can see we are under ravenous attack.
Wow. And
under assault.
To have attacks hitting the map at this point, and you can see right here where we just had the whiz kids
on fire. It's absolutely on fire.
Yeah, and then Mineola overturned one. That means that they were storing these projects up, or they've been working on them the whole time, knowing that they have to beat whatever is there. So to see an attack happen at this phase is impressive. To see an attacker win, I should say, because a lot of the projects that are holding the territories are already great.
I think I just got a private message from Coach Ferrara asking you, Melora, not to mention their name so they don't get knocked out of the top spot.
Yeah, I'm getting the messages too. I've been told to zip it.
Nice. Hey, we got to listen. We were on the air for 3 hours here. We got to talk about something, everybody. Give us a break here. We're doing the best we can.
I mean, we can't just talk about the fact that every time you look at Palmera, he looks like somebody different. So, I mean, and he's living on coffee. So,
yeah.
So what do we see? What are we looking at in terms of a time right now? we're just inside that 30-minute mark. So now we have 25 minutes left. That's a lot of time. That really is a lot of time. And I bet you we'll still see a flurry of projects coming in these last 25 minutes. I wonder if we should disturb some of the coaches at this point, or if the focus is too much. I probably shouldn't talk to anybody.
I know. I really want to, though. I really want to bother somebody and ask some questions. I really do. Like,
eek.
Well, you know, I think we could go and talk to Ferrara.
Maybe we should.
We should. Let's you know, Mr. Ferrara is his name, coach of
Ferrara. Ferrara
comes up with some great aliases. So Ferrara, roar, as in monster. What a great creative teacher, brings the best out of his students, engages on their level. You just can't say enough about what he's got going on and the effort he puts in. Just fantastic. So cool to see.
Well, we'll see if we can root anybody out of their rooms. They might not be willing to come talk to us, but we got them. All right, we got Hop Hog Coding. Eagles are in the room. Hop Hog, how's it feeling? Tension high? First of all, congratulations on your 2 wins already with having the best team banner, awesome pixel art. We love the eagle. Everybody loves it. I think you should probably just get rid of all logos in the school and replace with your eagle there. I'm just saying, I don't know. Anybody hear me there, Dr. Murphy? I think we might even have Mrs. Gordon in the room. I saw her join before. So we have Coach Ferrara. How's it going, Coach Ferrara? Tell us what it feels like in the war room.
We are under a lot of stress here, trying to hold on to the last minute. We're so happy with how they're doing. It's a new feeling to be up front and having everyone coming after us. We're usually the underdog, so that's why we need to keep it low. We got to stay in the underdog mindset so that we can keep fighting hard.
Yeah, how much time have you spent planning from a strategy standpoint versus just a pure skill standpoint? What's the breakdown?
I don't know. It's probably more strategy than anything, because the skills that this team has are are just second to none. So I didn't worry too much about what skill they had. I just wanted to get them familiar with the map, how a hackathon works, and just basically good strategy, because the only thing I could bring to the table at this point with a lot of them is experience with the map. And because there's a lot of skills that they possess. It's just a matter of how does it translate into a competition. So I'd say it's verging on like 90-10 strategy. So hopefully it pays off.
You're in a really tight battle right here, obviously, but you're also in a really tight battle as far as territories are concerned with the Willits Whiz Kids. You know, without giving up your strategy here, or any tricks up your sleeve or anything you got coming out that you're gonna yet to unveil?
I don't think we have anything left. We have a few just target territories that we really want to go after, and obviously everyone, it's pretty obvious we're just trying to hold the toes, and if we take the claws, and then now that we're in the final 30 minutes, that was the other major thing, and we're just coming after capital defense projects, hoping that those get graded as soon as possible so we can see how that comes out.
Tell us the temperature in your
have a-
room as far as the your captains are concerned. How is your captain handling everything?
He's about 98.6. We tested him right as we walked in.
Quick management issue here, Coach Ferrara. Your team has an invalid link for the Monsters Inc. Scare Floor project. So if they could submit from the CCEDU community URL.
Go CCEDU, not Hop link. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Coach Ferrara, we're super impressed. I know we saw you here with your junior team, and you had an impressive showing there. So I guess we'll let you get back in these last few minutes. And
Can you check that clock? I think it's going slow.
I bet. Gotta feel that.
Thanks, Coach. Great job, Coach. You're doing a tremendous job.
Good luck, guys.
Nice.
All right.
It's
So we
fun to come into these rooms and hear the chatter and see the kids. up and
Unbelievable.
walking
You heard how
around.
loud that was, right?
Yeah. You know, and it's always been fun to watch these hackathons. When we run the programs on campuses and we run these hackathons, like how little time is spent just in the seat. The kids are always up, moving around, looking over each other's shoulders, helping them edit their code and take different strategies. So a lot of active learning going on here.
we're going to try to get the team Mineola Megabytes in here if we can. And then I think maybe we'll see if we can spill ourselves over to one of the SIO rooms. It's the last few minutes, so normally it's hard to get anybody in. So we're going to see what we can do there. There's been a little, we have in the background some of our mentors who are running around between rooms, helping, trying to solve any issues that you might have. I know for teams who are listening, there was a project up in the scare floor there that needed to be addressed. That was addressed, so you should be fine and able to see those projects. But again, if you need anything, mentor Trish is coming around. Okay.
Dog has extended its lead to 3.
And we just saw someone take a territory there from the Megabytes. Who's that? South Grove Tigers just got a late game win there. So that's impressive to see again an attack. And still so many attacks on this map with only 19 minutes to go. There's no let up. You can see that some of the strategy looks to be that teams have turned back towards the airships. If they know they had a good capital defense project, they're trying to take over against what's sitting there. Sometimes there's a bait and switch though. Sometimes we see teams put forward a capital defense and then pull it back for what their real defense was.
And again, that speaks to the experience and teams will learn that little trick because we've seen that firsthand where they'll kind of trap somebody in, they pull them in, and then they drop the hammer on them. So with a big project, so I'm excited about what we're going to see.
I am too. And here we have the 2 coaches from Mineola Megabytes are joining us now. We have Coach Goldfarb and Coach Clifford. I would say your coach name in here, but I can't pronounce it. I just know that it terrified me, Coach Clifford. So tell us how things are going in your war room. Is the Monster Mash still rocking live?
You know, we are very focused in on our projects right now, so we do not have the Monster Mash playlist going.
Things have gotten serious.
Yes, it got very serious. It's
It's a
very
little quiet in there.
well. They know I'm in the main room, so they're staying quiet. But
Oh,
there's
that's nice of you.
lots of screaming, lots of yelling, lots of excitement.
Now, you guys have you've competed before in some of the other divisions. So what do you think you did differently to prepare for this event? Or what have you brought in terms of experience into this event?
I think something that definitely helped our team and also our middle school team was the kidOYO passport sessions with the mentors. Definitely utilizing just more skill development and training throughout the season, and then really having the kids focus on their strengths for the actual competition.
Excellent. I see a lot of creative, artistic work coming in from the Mineola team. What do you attribute that to?
We have a lot of artists on our team, and actually we have 5 girls on our team.
Nice.
Nice.
We're tipping the scales in this event. And at the end of it, I think I'll have to take a look at what our ratios really were. But there's no shortage of women leaders in the room, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we got the gargoyle Goldfarb over there. How much the support of the administration, how important is that to your team and what you're building over there?
It's very important. They're very supportive. They're very encouraging. They want to see our team have fun and succeed. So
Good, excellent. Yeah, I think I've loved to see how you guys have taken advantage of the pro passports, and I think it really highlights that the perfect kind of unity between having the support, but having teachers in the room who are willing to learn alongside the students. It's so meaningful for the students to get a chance to see that. Like, not everybody's an expert in everything. And just because we might be a little bit older than you, it doesn't mean that we are going to be the better one. So like, let's all learn together. That's been really impressive to see, because I know, like, even Miss Clifford, do you teach coding during the school year?
I do not. I teach 6th grade, so
a dual language class for 6th grade. Yes. And then Ms. Goldfarb, this year you were transitioned to be a virtual only teacher.
Right.
So how did that change? Because you weren't actively getting to teach coding this year, right?
I'm not. I'm still doing some coding challenges in my classroom though, and I've been taking advantage of the OYO passport too, so that I can stay up on my coding skills.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I think for teams who are, or school districts who are looking and wondering who am I going to get to lead this, look beyond where you might think, because there's leaders everywhere. You guys have done a great job just being willing to dive in and, just be part of the experience. I think that that's made your team better, stronger. And you guys came back. You guys did phenomenal this year. You put on a great showing. So we're super excited. And you know how we feel about Mineola. Special little heart spot for you guys.
We love you. Right back at you.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you get back. We know we're right at the final throws and we want to let you be with your team. So good luck in this final stage. Bring everything you got.
Thank you.
Go get them. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hashtag Mineola proud.
Yes.
Yep.
We are inside 15 minutes. It is looking, the official clock on my computer is at 13 minutes and 15 seconds. So we've got about a minute and a half lag on the stream, but the attacks are coming in. As everybody, I don't think we drew much attention to this, but the way that our judging queue works is that we receive the submissions in the order that they are entered, and then the map will render results in that same order. So while it might be easier to evaluate a sprite design challenge than it is to evaluate a Python challenge, if the Python challenge comes in first, it'll be the one that renders on the map first. And judges are forced into that integrity of results. And so while we have a lot of challenges on the capitals, in some cases, not all of them are going to be allowed because teams actually have a territory on the map. But as the judges get to them, if it is permissible, they will be judged in their own time and all the other attacks on the map itself will be judged. And when the clock hits 0, if there are still attacks on the map, then we go into a pending phase until we get this chance to clear the entire queue and see where we fall. If there's a tie, then I'll probably have to extend the timer for a few minutes, let teams make a little bit of an after-hour play. Otherwise, if we have a clear winner, it'll be declared as the final territories are judged.
Hey, we want to remind everyone too, if you're following us on social media, make sure you use the hashtags, hashtag HackLI and hashtag Code Conquest 2021. Want to see your tweets tagging, and we can see what's going on in your war room, and might even read some of your tweets on the air. And this means you, Dr. Murphy, use the actual hashtags, hashtag HackLI and hashtag Code Conquest 2021.
So, I was just going to make a comment here. I think it's kind of been a resounding theme about seeing how many young girls we have competing in this competition. I was just looking through some of the rosters and realized that there's quite a few girls in here. In fact, one of the Manhasset teams, Fury, has 7 girls on their team also. So this is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Every program I've ever been in is looking at how do we get more young girls involved. And I'll tell you what, take a look. This is how. You want to have it. We want to get access to them as young as possible, and we want to let them play. You have to play in order to learn. And it's the best way to do that here. You want to get them applying, get their fingers on the keyboard. Let's make creative projects, roll up your sleeves, and just have some fun. This is an actual way to engage kids at where their interest level is. And I know, the public wall of our community, inside of each one of our learning communities, we have a public wall, and it's public only to the students and the teachers who are in that community. So it's a kind of a safe, protected space, but it gives us an opportunity to teach kids how to communicate in a digital space, to have some freedom of expression, to find their voice, to learn how to share, to learn how to be positive and collaborate with each other. And the wall in our community leading up to this event was amazing. Encouragement, kindness, supportiveness across multiple teams, just helping each other get over the nervousness of participating in this for the first time. And I am so impressed with every single one of you kids. And thank you for giving support back to the mentors. It really is meaningful because we really do care about each one of you and how you're progressing forward, and our team feels very connected to the process. So thank you for being here and for being so amazing on this wall. We're so happy to have you, and we can't wait to see what you will do throughout the years.
I want to do a special thank you to LIU for their support of Code Conquest 2021. Got to speak to them last time. We're grateful for them. I have a feeling we'll be seeing them again next year, and we might even be on their campus. Right now you have a live view. I don't even know if they know this. You have a live view into the leaderboard leader, the Hop Hog Coding Eagles. You can actually see into their war room right now. And Coach Ferrara, as he's roaring there, he jumped out. Coach Ferrara, you could see how intense he was right now. They're doing a tremendous job, have a lot of blocks, but they are up against it. There's a lot of people gunning for them right now, including right behind them, the Manhasset Fury.
You can see there's 8 open attacks against them at the moment. 8.
They've cut the map in half.
Yeah. So we've got, 3. There's definitely, once you start moving towards the topic, it's even tougher because then everybody's looking at you and figuring out how can we knock you back down. So it's going to be a tough battle right here at the end, and people are hanging on. Some people got kicked off their battleships and came back to their battleships. So anyone's game still.
Yeah, and if you look at it too, you could see you could kind of figure out the Manhasset Fury strategy. So they don't have that many territories, but they have very valuable territories. So they have 2 2-pointers that looks like one is under attack right now. We've just seen 5 straight successful defenses of territories. And the Code Eagles turned back a couple challenges. So really just unbelievable. We're going to be down to the finish here.
And
inside 10 minutes.
We're approaching the 7-minute mark.
Now remember, when the timer will end, but all of the judging still has to continue. And with a lot of attacks open, you're not going to see the winner revealed just yet, because I can see just on the battleships, we have probably 15 attacks happening just in the battleship area, maybe a little less as I see the queue start to sort itself out. So it'll take a little time after, but then the winner will be displayed. Dev, have we seen what the winner gets? We should probably take a look at what the winner gets when they win.
Well, I might have to get it, so hold on.
Yeah, so we will, normally at the event, we can announce the winner and the winning team gets to collect their prizes right there on the spot, but we will arrange to deliver to the winning team. And here it is. This is our first ever cup for the upper elementary. And I said, some of these kids this cup might be bigger. This cup might actually be a little bit bigger than some of the kids on their teams. So we are looking forward to delivering this full of kidOYO t-shirts to the winning team. We do have some really awesome plaques. And so you know how that cup works. If you win the trophy, you hold the trophy until the next spring season when the hackathon season opens up again, and we'll collect the trophy. You will receive a plaque to commemorate your win for the year. And then a small plaque gets added to the trophy itself so that every winner will get to see who's held the trophy before them. And for this one, you'll be the first name because this is the first event. Just kind of recapping back through our previous seasons, we started off with the junior division. That was the first competition that came out of the gates, and the junior division winner was Manhasset. Then we followed that up with the high school division, and Eastport South Manor took the high school division championship. And so they took it away from W.T. Clark from East Meadow, and Manhasset took it from Syosset. So it's nice to see that we're not just hyper focused in one area. We've got winners coming all over the place. So it's a pretty exciting to see what'll happen. And we're approaching the 6-minute mark right here. I know tensions are high. I doubt anybody's even listening.
Officially inside 5 minutes.
Okay. Yep. So the live stream's a little bit behind my view.
I'll have Doug hit refresh when he gets a chance to do that and see if we can't bring it closer together as we get inside this 5-minute mark. And we've got 1 point separating Hopog and Manhasset Fury now.
Nice. Well, and during these 5 minutes, I'd just like to take a moment to say thank you to to Dom King for being such a fantastic MC during this entire season. And we hope we can bring you back for the next season. I hope Cisco will let go of you again to allow us to have you come work with us. You're just an awesome asset to add to the team.
I can't thank you enough. I absolutely can't thank you enough. I love being here and I'm having a great time doing it. So
somehow I have a feeling I'll hear you beeping your head off, thanking me some point in the next couple days.
Yeah. Behind the Great Wall of Oyo. Yeah, we'll definitely.
The Great Wall of Oyo.
We're inside 4 minutes.
That's my thank you screen behind me.
Oh, nice. Wow, you even have one. You're so well prepared.
Yeah, I think I've had quite a few costume changes. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. I just put a tweet out. At one point, there was, I believe, 17 territories in dispute. So.
Well, and what's interesting is you get to the end here, we just saw it got down to a 1 point difference. Now it's 3 points. We have teams attacking each other, affecting the tally on the map. So it's not just a battle between the top of the map. You see the bottom of the leaderboard coming against the top of the leaderboard, and that's impacting everything as well. So again, these orders change really quickly. And let's see, I'll give you the actual. We're at 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
This is it. It's a little bittersweet to see this one come to an end because this has been such an exciting season. Our team looks forward to it. It's just a ton of fun to get to see the culmination of all of the effort. So I can't wait to see what these kids do over the years, getting this level of competition at this age level. I mean, good luck, world. Long Island's coming for you.
Yes, and we've seen Hopog started strong, then fell way back, and then came back again. And so here we are, coming to the 2-minute mark. Can they hold it out for 2 more minutes? I'm sure the stress is building. Ferrara is probably roaring away in that room. Hold it together.
Hold it together, Ferrara.
Manhasset is right on their heels. Mineola is right on their heels. Teams are trying to make a last-ditch effort with their projects. Probably had some projects being developed right down to the wire, hoping they have enough to claim a territory, change the results. 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Wow. 1 minute and 30 seconds, kids. Dig in. Dig in.
And Doug, could you hit refresh one more time when you get a chance? You know, Doug and Trish are heroes of this event right now. They're being summoned around the entire community of teams, answering questions, which I'm sure are a lot of questions about what's going on with the capital tax, and teams are hoping they can overcome some of these point totals. So everyone's running around like crazy. Judges are evaluating projects, and I can't wait to hear and see the look in their eyes. They're going to be exhausted when this is done.
It is ferocious right now. The map is absolutely ferocious. I'm watching the live view of it. And just the amount of stuff that's going in, and the judges, you know, again, you can't thank the judges enough.
Yeah.
Because just the sheer volume of stuff they have to look at is unbelievable.
Yeah, and you can see too, I mean, so you know that you can only have one project. Your project can only hold one territory. So each one of these capital defense projects that are getting challenged are being challenged with a unique project. So there's so much work. These kids really deserve a huge round of applause at the end of this, because they worked themselves like crazy to come up with these projects. It was nonstop.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many came in. We have 24 pending attacks on the map right now that the judges need to work through.
All right, I think
and that's the end of our countdown. Judging is in progress. The timer has reached 0 on the official clock. In our OBS stream, we've got 35 seconds showing. Judges now need to resolve all the attacks that came in before the clock reached 0. As you can see now, it says judging is in progress. Submissions are closed. And unless we have a tie, once all the territory challenges have been judged, then this countdown timer will not be reset unless we need to resolve a tie. So this is our active view, or as close to it as we can get with this live stream. Hopog remains on top. Manhasset and Mineola have been right there the entire time. Wilt's Whiz Kids right there. I mean, so much could change in these final projects to change the order of results. We just got to sit here and wait for it all to come in. It's all on the judges now.
For anyone who wants to return to the main Zoom room, you can return to the main Zoom room when you're ready. I don't want to pull anybody, because I know that in this final moment, well, I guess there's no strategy left. You can't submit anything else. So let's pull everybody back to the main room, and we could all come together for one final moment while we wait to see who has won the event. So Mentor Trish or Mentor Doug, if you want to summon everybody back from their breakout rooms, that would be great, and we can bring everybody back. Either we're going to have a lot of exhausted kids who are going to just fall over from the amount of work that they've done, or maybe the sugar will keep them going for the rest of the day, and the parents, you know, you're welcome and we're sorry all at the same time.
That's true. Always true.
Judging in progress. So I'm sure that the mentor room is really interesting to be in right now as well, because the pressure's on them. They have to make the right decisions. They have to really take into account what's been there. And a lot of times there's debate, you know, like not all the time do we have 100% agreement. So they have to debate it out. There's also validating unique work. You know, there's always a temptation to cheat when it comes to programming. It's never looked at with a fond eye, because it's easy to cheat. It's hard to innovate. So we have to keep people true and accountable to that as well. So it's a tough job. I know our mentors are going to collapse after this as well. Much deserved break for them. Even though we probably have thousands and thousands of challenges They still need to be checked. So thankfully we have more than 1 or 2 mentors sitting there ready to do it. All right, let's see. Let's keep refreshing that main screen. We're going to see, this is, oh, a nail biter. I would not want to be sitting in any of those top spots right now. And certainly, I can't believe how many of the starships still have attacks. I mean, we're looking at like 4, 6, 5. I mean, there's tons of attacks sitting out there still. So there's still a bunch of judging. You can see when it's blinking, it means it's actively being judged. I don't know if we can see that on this. I think it might be, you could probably see it on your live map.
There is a lot left of stuff that has to get taken on. So absolutely. And like you said, that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ships of the dirigibles that are under attack as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is still really tense. And if you're sitting close to the top right now, it's super tense because there's just no guarantees until the final submissions are all judged. So I know that as I'm looking through and I'm seeing the rooms, I can just imagine what the stomachs feel like right now. Tense, definitely tense. It was a strong showing. We're going to try to highlight some of the best projects from this whole hackathon season and try to get some of that out so that you can share with your kids. I just saw somebody who can barely look at the screen. You know, it's tough. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. If you don't win, if you did not win, that does not mean you're still not phenomenal coder. You guys have done such a good job and you're so young in your coding careers. We are excited to see what you'll do next time. All summer long, you can come in and compete and code with the kidOYO passport. Just go to kidOYO.com. You can find that. Also, in the fall, we'll be back with skirmishes and skill dashes. Take a look at the teams. Remember who you might want to challenge. Who do you want to try to beat during the fall? There'll be all kinds of events happening. Let's not be calling anybody out. I see the chat. We are good at keeping people true to things.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going.
We're all in this together. So
Yep.
we need everybody to buck up here, and we're going to see how it goes. But you know, everybody hang tight.
Yeah, part of this is sportsmanship, you know. Part of it is getting to the end of it and having good sportsmanship, and everybody's struggling through things, and you know.
Well, this is new. You know, in the world of coding, we haven't always had anything competitive to aim at, right? So I know if you're of my generation and you're programming, when you go out to the working world, you were often down in the basement, right? You didn't get to mix it up with the marketing teams, or me and the Dom King. We were in different parts of that corporate tower. So coming out here and having a chance to have a competitive environment and show that we have sportsmanship and can compete X game style, celebrating each other's wins, that's cool. That's what this is all about. You get pushed to your own creative limits, and then you get to learn by watching everybody else. So,
and again, any concerns that you may have, please share them with your coaches directly. We'd like everyone, again, we know this is an exciting competition. We know that it's tough, but we want everybody to have good sportsmanship and make sure, again, you're sharing it with your coaches as well.
Yep. Remember all the good sportsmanship you had coming into it. And, you know, just to clarify, I see a lot of people saying cheat. There's remixes. You can remix each other's projects from your own team. That did happen. That's normal. And we don't need to call anybody out. Our team did a great job in finding what we thought was cheating. So let's
hey, Mentor
just
Doug,
relax.
can you show us the map, please? Looks like we're down to the judges. We got 5, 4 territory attacks, and then we got capital attacks to resolve.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot here. So there's still plenty of time left. Well, there's not time left, but there's still plenty of, information that has to be discerned here. So.
Yep. And just remember too, that you see things, you know, as we said, when you create a coded project, you can either create your own innovative, original artwork, or you could use artwork that you found. Our judges judge accordingly. We always value original artwork over copied artwork or over imported. But there's a lot of things that go into consideration of the judging. This is a tough judging, but you have to trust the process. You know, where this is the team, our judges are very well versed in this, and we've seen a lot. We really enjoyed this experience. Whether you win or lose, you all gained something from this, and you're going to learn and come back stronger next year. So let's keep that team spirit going. Good sportsmanship.
I want to call out Charles from Willett's Whiz Kids. Great. You just wrote, what a great experience. Put a smiley face. We're thankful to have you here today. So thanks so much for putting that out there. We need positive.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. You guys really impressed us all with how much positivity you put out there, and how supportive you were of each other coming into this. But, you know, learning how to be a good sport's important.
Feed, and we're down to 3 judges, 3 submissions that need to be judged. And then we go to capital attacks. So it's going to take a little bit more. There's so many attacks. You're seeing a lot of successful defenses, which means that the project quality that is currently holding these territories is substantial. And those last minute submissions just didn't have enough to overcome it. That's not all that uncommon. Sometimes when we get to the end of the hackathon, teams are desperately submitting projects just in hopes of a lucky judgment. But obviously there's a substantial amount of effort that has already been put in to elevate the projects on each of these territories. So it's not always so easy to win in those last gasp efforts. So a lot of successful defenses taking place. We've got one more on the Monster Island that needs to be judged, and then we've got capital attacks to resolve.
Hey, thanks to Crazy Coder too. He put a great job out to everyone as well. Thanks, Crazy Coder, for being a good sport. Definitely thanks to the Manhaxit squad. They put out a great message thanking everybody, and they're doing well.
That's right. And even Fury and Spuds, great job to all the teams. What an amazing experience. Thank you guys. We agree, it was awesome. And yeah, just a little more practice. That's a great attitude from Edward CO. Great attitude. Everybody, just keep coming back, keep practicing, keep looking at what won,
Yeah, thanks to Zay. Great. Good job. He put out good job to everyone. He or she put out, I should say.
Amazing showing by everybody. Just being here and competing and going through the process with a great attitude is awesome. Thanks, Waffle Monster. We agree. I think the teams all did great.
Thanks to the Bayless Bengals. They put it out there.
That's right. It is just a game, Lightning League. And you put on a great performance.
I wonder how many of the hackers had ever spent 3 hours hacking with no breaks. If this was a purely unique experience, you push yourself to the limits. How many people are tired?
Yeah. Whew. Definitely. I'm tired. And I didn't even have to code anything.
Yeah, I didn't have to code anything either, so I'm tired. Wow, I'm coming down on a caffeine crash here.
Oh, thanks, Charles. We appreciate that. Our mentors did do a great job. They're tired too.
Yeah, Waffle Monster is going to take a nice long sleep. A Jakes just thanked kidOYO. Thank you, A Jakes, for jumping in and being part of this. We love having you all. Thanks, Coding Queen 24. We're glad you had fun.
Let's get a refresh on that screen too. I know that we still have, now we're just down to the capitals. The map itself has been finalized. So now the final capitals are being judged, and then we'll get to see what the turnout was there. And
yes, now this could have consequence, because you can see we've got Hopog that's holding a few. They actually, I think, are holding 3 capitals right now, but there's multiple attacks on that. So you take those away, we're definitely not done with the results yet here. We'll have to see how this impacts the final tally.
Soccer 520 said it was really fun. I wonder if they think it's more fun than soccer. So Soccer 520 thought it was really fun. Great. AI Kid thought it was amazing. So we're just great. We're grateful to have all of you, and you really stepped your games up today, students. So terrific job. Thank you to Crazy Coder, the Cool Coder, cool name, by the way.
Waffle Monster's making me hungry.
The Cool Coder.
I'm also afraid. So the Cool Coder is nervous about the amount of sugar consumed today. And let's just say that we're going to get the dentist to sponsor us next time.
Oh, that's a good idea. We probably should. Well, normally, we get to be there with balloons and get all of the excitement. And we're trying to, connect again over this digital divide, which I think the kids of this generation are doing a phenomenal job of. So it's great to feel like we get a chance to interact with you. Keep building your skills when you come out of this. And remember that there's another one next year. You have a lot of competitions in front of you. You're in the youngest division right now.
The Cool Coder, if you need us to write you a note because you're going to the dentist later, feel free. We'll try to write you a note.
Let me go see what we're looking at from the judges. They are winding this down. Looks like we got 4 pending.
Ethan wants to know when we're going to do this next.
Always around the same time. So next year, we always run the big competitions in the spring, but throughout the fall, your teams can compete in skirmishes, so smaller micro hackathons that kind of practice and ready you for the coming year, as well as skill dashes. So stay tuned. And also, over the summer, the best experience of your life, BJ. So thank you. That's awesome.
Thanks, BJ.
All the grades will be competing again next year. We have 3 divisions. This is the upper L, grades 4 through 6, the juniors, grades 7 and 8, and the high school divisions, grade 9 through 12.
Yes, we will be prototyping some new maps over the summer so we can test them out. And we've got some cool ideas that we're going to have some map designs to test out. You'll probably see some of those in the Code LI community. And we'll see if we can't add some even more interesting competition types.
Just to throw this out there too, next year when I'm not virtual, I'll have access to the Cisco prize closet. So I'll make sure I make a withdrawal from the Cisco swag closet and try to get some swag to some of the good sports that I see on the board.
It's like we have 2 final judgments on an airship.
It could be big.
It's looking like I'm not going to speak. Oh, we've got 1 more judgment. The team.
Keep your eyes on the map for a special
keep
new
your eyes on
we added.
Keep your eyes on the live map. The live stream is going to be a little bit delayed, so keep your eyes on the live map for the most up-to-date
Doug,
view.
you're going to want to zoom out so we can get this view coming in as we render the final results. And the judges will go through. Looks like we got 1 more project they're evaluating.
And they're in it right now.
I got my
And there
camera
we have
ready.
it. The final one was evaluated. So we just have to wait for that. And congratulations to the Hog Coden Eagles for taking the championship.
Way to go, Eagles.
Phenomenal showing this year. And Coach Ferrara, awesome job.
Oh, you have this one? Well, we did this year.
Amazing job. Congratulations, and congratulations to everybody. Hopog, we will be in touch with you to arrange to deliver the trophy and your team t-shirts for the win. Have a great weekend. I know you guys are going to do an awesome job. And congratulations to Manhasset Fury for coming in 2nd place. And congratulations to the 3rd place tie between Mineola Megabytes and AP Willits from Syosset. Phenomenal showing, guys. Everybody here did a great job, and we are so impressed with the work you did. See you soon.
A fireworks show for everybody to enjoy here.
Woo-hoo, this is a new feature. That looks fantastic.
Thank you to all the judges, the dev team, making sure everything ran well. Fantastic job. Great job, coaches, keeping everybody energized throughout the day and focused. Fantastic event.
All right, everybody, we're going to start removing you out of the Zoom session. You can move on to whatever comes next for the day. Apologize to any teachers who might get these kids coming into their classes next. This is I didn't do it. It was him.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna have to write a note for a couple people who said one of the, again, cool coder said they had to go to the orthodontist after this. We might have to write a note.
Yeah,
Even
right.
do an alibi for them.
Hey, Coach Ferrara, you want to unmute? Give us your, how's it feel?
It's loud in here. It's crazy. Hey, everybody, we're live.
Bedlam. It's absolute bedlam.
It was all Eric.
Okay, okay.
It was all Eric. Oh my goodness. You
They
guys are
like
great.
Eric.
Eric is our God.
There's a keel.
Eric is the God.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
okay. Well, that's what sugar sounds like. So sugar plus winning.
Sugar
Well,
plus winning. We'll do it every time.
So that sounds like victory to me.
Doug, you didn't like that?
This is like
Doug's still in the box. He's
I can
That might have been a little loud for me.
Doug pulled his eardrums out.
Thank you guys. That was awesome.
I did.
all right. Good
That's
job,
awesome.
guys.
Good job.
Hey,
Coach.
thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. It was awesome.
Have a great
job.
weekend.
Great job.
Great job, Coach.
All right, and with that, we're gonna start pulling.
Thanks, Charles. Great job to you too, buddy.
Thanks, Charles.
Great job to West Hempstead, Coach Perlo. Thank you.
Coach
Miss
Perla, great
Hatfield,
job, Coach Perla.
Hula Hoop Hacker.
Sugar plus a win
To
equals
all the
win.
Marilises, thank you for your leadership.
Yes, thank you to all the
Fantastic day.
coaches so much. Thanks for to all the admin who helped make this happen, and thanks to all of our judges who do the hard lifting in the background. And thanks to all of our awesome coders. Bring it bigger and better next time. Have a great weekend, everybody.